Sh- Shalom, shalom. How you doing? Is this Bara? Let me know if you can hear me. Hello, shalom, Larry. How are you doing?
Shalom. Good. How are you?
All right, I'm fine. I'm fine. How's the weather over there? You're down in Michigan, right? Is it raining over there?
Oh, I'm in Wisconsin, Milwaukee.
Yeah, Milwaukee. Okay,
hmm
yeah.
Yeah, it's been raining on and off, but we finally starting to get warm. So,
Mm-hmm. Okay, it was just pouring down over here in Louisville, so it was like, wow. I made it home before it got me all drenched, so I'm here. I'm like, yeah, I escaped it. Yeah, so that's good. I was trying to get Bara, are you able to hear me? I wasn't able to hear your mic, Bara. Somebody else is on here. I'm trying to hear his mic. Let me see. You might have to text into the chat if you cannot respond on your mic. I just want to make sure everybody's able to respond. Let's see what this person is. Let's see. Okay, let me try this again. Barbara, are you able to talk on your mic or able to talk into the chat? I just need to make sure we can communicate. Okay, I'm not sure about that. Okay. Hello there, Samantha. How you doing? Are you able to hear me, Samantha? I guess you're muted. I was just saying hello.
Hi, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Great, great. How's your day?
It's going really good, going really good. Just I actually got a tooth pulled yesterday and
Oh, mm,
I came
that's
I came home and I just took everything I had in the cabinet and I slept so good. I woke up and one of my good friends this morning I said, "Is this what regular people feel like when they get a good night's sleep?"
oh, goodness gracious. That's painful. You gotta have some, medicine to relieve your pain, but it can bother your sleep if you have those difficulties. That's what happens. So I've had those and ooh, it wasn't nice. And
Yes.
yeah, so just continue to take what you can. I know there are some people that believe in the herbal medicine as the best medicine too. So think about some natural herbs that you can take as well.
I'm gonna pick up some oregano oil um to add, but I know I have peppermint tea and I know that helps. The last time I had a tooth pulled, the peppermint tea helped, but
Mm-hmm.
I heard oregano helps with speeding up the healing process.
Yes, yes, exactly. That usually helps. And I have a sister in my church, in my assembly. She does a lot of studies and research on natural medicines too. And she's more advanced than I am. I cannot think of the names of the things that she know of. But if there's something that she mentions, if she gets on the call, sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't. But if she does not, then I put a note out to her to see if there's anything else that she would recommend.
Okay, definitely.
Yes, yes. Any way I can help, any way I can help. Definitely. All right. So
Oh, and
we're still, oh, go
I
ahead.
found out the place where my daughter is the area is was called. Oh, I just forgot what it was again. Wait, I got it. Rebecca, what was the area I said Carlia was in Kentucky?
The area that she was in, where is it called?
The I said I was gonna tell you what it was because I didn't know. You said you in Louisville, right?
Yeah, so I'm in Louisville, and some other people in my assembly are in Louisville. So uh, I know I'm not exactly, I mean, I wasn't born and raised in Kentucky, so I've been here 6 years. So to tell you where
Mm.
other places are, that means my assembly people, they would know more because some of them have been born and raised here. I know there's a college called, I mean,
She's in
she's not in
Morganville.
college. What's that?
She's in Morganfield, Kentucky. She's doing the RN, the RN program and her high school diploma is at Earl C. Clement Corps, Morganfield.
Wait a minute. I'm not even sure where that is. It,
Mhm.
well, I can barely tell you. So, um, you said it's in Morganfield is the, let me see. I think I can try to find something. Is that north, like from Louisville, is it northeast or south or west? Look this up,
I
because I can
know.
barely tell you where the map is. Um, let's see. Okay.
I know the lady told me when she was 30 minutes from, she's 30 minutes from Evansville, Indiana. So she must be
30 minutes from
west.
Indiana. Oh, she must be west of Kentucky then. Let me see. You said Morgan Field. Okay, yeah. Let me see where that is. So if I'm in Louisville, where am I? That's over there. Yeah, she's over west, and she's yeah, that's 2 hours and 39 minutes from where we are in Louisville.
Oh,
Yeah, she 2 hours down there. But let me see what big cities are there. There's a Henderson, Evansville. That's no, I'm trying to think of what's the biggest city. Well, either way, because I can't tell you because I'm not from this area. But anyways, in case she travels, let's see, that's 2 hours and 30 minutes. 2 hours and 40 minutes. Yeah, so that's Evansville. Okay, hold on. Somebody else is coming in here.
okay.
Yeah, but anyway, let's see.
We can talk about it later anytime. It's fine. I just was like, let me find out what the name of it was. That's what I definitely wanted to know you to know.
Okay, sure. Anyways, I was gonna tell you all that the speaker is gonna be a little late. He was getting some things done. Okay, hold on. Let me send somebody else this Zoom link here. Okay, Tracy is on here and Larry is on here and Miss Samantha is on here. Let me send this link to Miss Ileana so she can join in. And there was another gentleman was on the line, but I couldn't get him to communicate with me. So he saw my link on Facebook and he said he was from somewhere in Missouri, but we was having problems communicating on this Zoom. And I was asking him to text. Let me see what he says. Cause it's like when I'm talking to someone, unless they have a issue with their mic or there's a problem with their texting, I'm not sure. He could text me on the phone, but he can't text me in the chat. I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm trying to understand what's going on. Have anybody else been on Zoom before? Do you know ways to instruct people how to? I mean, his mic was not muted, so it's just that he wasn't talking. Is it a problem with his dial-up or something?
It depends on when he joins. If you join from your phone, if you don't hit that microphone at the top, so if it says he's joining from data or Wi-Fi, it does give you the option to dial in, and he could always call in on his phone. But you see at the top where that thing is blinking and it says record REC.
Yeah.
If
Right.
if he's using his Bluetooth like in a car or something, you have to hit that microphone button up there at the top left.
Well, let me see if you can instruct him, cause he is,
I thought he couldn't eat now what color.
yeah, cause I put him in the waiting room and,
But I thought he couldn't eat now what color that has orange stuff in it.
okay, let me see. What we gonna do, I'm trying to see if I can get him back in. Hold on, let's see where we are. Okay, let's see what he doesn't have a mic. It doesn't show that he has a mic. I'm like, how do he do this if there's not a mic? I don't see a mic beside his name.
Is he,
So,
oh, is he joining from the phone?
so what you asking if he's joining in from his phone or what?
Oh, he's joining from his computer, which he didn't hit the allow button. You know, when it says
Ah,
allow,
uh,
now it's
yeah.
there.
Okay, now I see the mic. Oh goodness. Okay, Mr. Barra, are you able to unmute yourself and
Greetings, everyone. Can you hear
okay.
me? Now I
There
can
you
hear
go.
everyone in the end.
Okay.
Greetings,
Oh,
everyone.
okay. But yeah, so it's Miss. Okay, goodness. I was calling you Mr. Barra, Barra. Thank you for for introducing yourself. So I was making sure that the microphone was working. So thank you. Um, so what we're gonna do is go ahead and have some little introductions to go around the room around this so we can get started. Um, First of all, what we can do is just say our name, where we from, um, married, single, or you courting right now, um, what you hope to learn. You know, I usually teach with my students at a dormitory where I teach people with visual impairments, soft skills as part of my day job. So when they come to my class for the first time, I go on around the room and say, okay, first tell me who you are, where you from, why you here, and where you trying to go. So basically it's like just giving them a whole little brief summary. So for this call, it's like just tell us who you are, where you from, why you here, or and if you married or single, and or courting, why you here, and what you hope to get out of this. Okay, so let me see. Everybody can hear me. Somebody else just joined. Okay, somebody else. Let's see. All right. Who is iPhone that's just joined? The iPhone needs to have a name up there. So, Miss Tracy, since you and I are been here since the beginning, um, we can start first. So, as for me, my name is Leora Jackson. I'm from Louisville. I've been here for 6 years. I'm originally from Arkansas. I'm single. Um, I was married, divorced years ago. I have a 15-year-old son, and I am here to learn courtship, to help others to learn about courtship, to rebuild families again. That is my desire, is to help people to start rebuilding their families, to mainly to make sure I can teach young people about courtship, why it's important, so that we can start rebuilding our Black families back to where we should be, and increasing the ratio of marriages among the African American families. So that's why I'm here. Okay, Tracy, would you like to go next?
Hi, my name is Tralicia Neal. I am married. I've been divorced and I've remarried. I have 5 children and 3 grandchildren. I serve as a youth minister at Mount Nebo. Let me say youth teacher. I don't like the word minister for myself, at Mount Nebo Missionary Baptist Church. And I'm on here just to learn information so that I can share with others to try to help them to avoid some of the pitfalls I have in my relationships, and try to help the youth to learn to do things God's way again, so that they can avoid some of the pitfalls and struggles that you have in life when you don't do things God's way.
Okay, thank you, Tracy. I appreciate that. Um, Samantha, or yeah, if you want to go next, Samantha. And let me just say this person that's iPhone at the bottom, if you would look at the chat, I had texted you something in the chat. If you could just reply to me in the chat. Okay, Samantha, you go ahead, and then Tina, you Ileana, Tina, you can go next.
Okay, my name is Samantha Moore Valentine. I reside in Georgia. My family's originally from New York, but I've been here. I'm in the double digits now. I am divorced. I got married right out of high school. Been divorced for 16 years. 15 years. I have 4 children. My oldest is 20, about to be 21, my son, and I have 3 girls, 16, 9, and 10. And I hope to find out more ways to strengthen the Black village, my community, myself, those around me, and hoping to impart that same information into my home, my household, and my future endeavors as far as marriage in the future.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, next we're gonna go to Ileana, and then Larry, and then Bara.
Yes, ma'am. Peace and blessings, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Sister Eliana, or Tina Lee. Is my name given to me by my parents. I reside here in Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm on the call because I previously a teacher of young girls and teens when I served in ministry, as well as young adult women on how to live the abundant life in the Most High and abide by His laws, statutes, and commandments, as well as sisterhood, spiritual gifts training, and just serving as a ministerial servant, I guess you could say. And it's my goal that when on the call and in this ministry with others, just for us to get back to the Bible on ways to live and interact with one another, to have godly relationships, not only in a courtship fashion and for marriage, but just as people of the Most High God and people of color, to have decent, upright, nurturing relationships with one another.
Okay, thank you. That's beautiful, Ileana. Very beautiful. That's great, wonderful. That's what we're trying to make sure we establish here, that relationship, rebuilding it according to the Most High. So I appreciate it. So Larry, and then Bara, and then Darren.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Larry Drake. Um, I am widowed, but prior to my last marriage, I was divorced in the past years ago. I have 7 children, all of whom are adults and a 12-year-old. And so I am in the single, I am single also, and interested in learning what the Bible has to say about um, what we call courtship. Um, I'm also a leader. I serve about 20 people in an assembly here in Milwaukee. So in our group we also have singles, right? And I would like a place, you know, for them to fellowship like you are. And if we can do that online, I would love to direct them here to fellowship with all of us. But I would like to stay, but unfortunately, I have a conflict. I have a meeting in 1 minute with a ministry team.
Okay.
Yeah, so I will try. I will try to reconnect at the next one.
Okay, no problem. Well, thank you so much, Larry. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining. And I'll send you a link for the next one.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye. Okay. Who was next? Bara, and then Darren, and then Jerica, you just came in. What we're doing is explaining, telling who we are, where we from, our marital status, and what we hope to learn from courtship and so on. So I put that in the chat for you as well, so you can look at it. But that's what we're doing. And I think, who did I say? Bara, and then Darren, and then Jerica. Okay, Bara, you up next. I hope I'm
Praise
saying
Yahweh
that right.
family. Yes, that's
Okay.
correct. Praise Yahweh
Okay.
family. My name is Bara. I'm from Missouri. I am a widow also. I was married to my husband for at the time he was murdered, unfortunately. We was going on 18 years. So it'd be 20 years as of this year. We have 6 children together. And I am was blessed to be able to run into this class on Facebook as I was sharing with another member that shared the flyer on Facebook, to just get a better understanding. You know, our mindsets is already, especially of hearing other members share, our mindsets is already set to courtship, but just really getting a grasp on the difference between dating and courtship. One may think that it was the same because I really didn't know the difference until I read that flyer, and I'm like, well, my mindset is on courtship. You know, if that was to happen, you know, with you know, if that's, you know, in the plans. But um again, I'm thinking that dating is courtship because that's the way that biblically we supposed to be. So I'm just here to learn and educate as far as for my children. I used to be a homeschool teacher, and other Hebrews that that's in the nation with me that study also throughout the other states, to be able to share with other Hebrew brothers and sisters. But thank you for allowing me to share, family.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. And I did share that flyer on Facebook, and I'm glad that you was able to check that out. And I know that some other people were able to look in it too. So, and that's what we're here to do, is to learn and to be taught by other leaders and elders, and so that we can help our families and our children and educate others about what is proper according to the Most High. What do we need to do to get better, to relearn what we think we thought we knew about courtship, dating? What is the difference and what is it? So we're gonna get into that a little bit into this discussion and with our speaker. But in the meantime, yes, you know, most people think, yes, is it the same? Yeah, recording, redating, that's the same. But there is a difference. There is a difference, big time. Um, so, and let me have who was next? Darren, and then Jerica.
Shalom, everyone. My name is Darren. I live in the Louisville, Kentucky area, but I'm originally from Gary, Indiana. I am single myself. I have never been married, and I am just looking to learn, this redefining of what courtship means. As far as a leader, I am a leader in many facets in my own right. I'm a mentor for youth, and in my age and older. Yeah, I'm just looking to learn with everybody and redefine and develop this courtship idea. And I pray that it is gonna be in good standing and a sweet savor for the Most High, as well as everybody else. And thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you, Darren. Wonderful. What a blessing. What a blessing. Awesome. And let's see. I think it was, Jerica. Jerica, you can go ahead and introduce yourself. Jerica got off. Okay, let me see what happened to Jerica. Okay, let's see what happened there. Okay. Anyways, what we're gonna do, since we all had this discussion and I'm checking in with the let's see who says this. Somebody said they couldn't hear anything when they joined in. Okay, maybe that was that person that just jumped off. Hold on one second. Okay, so while we are waiting on the speaker, Mr. Elder set apart, he is en route. He's having some transportation and interferences at the moment, but in the meantime, we will continue to go on. Eliana, you put something in the chat. Did you want to elaborate what you were trying to say on that?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I just was sending it to the chat because I heard part of your question and as I heard different ones comment, I did not include that in when I had spoken. So I just put that in there for you all to see with regard to, my previous understanding of scriptures or biblical service and the roles that I had played, and then my heart's desire to be in a courtship.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So basically, what is the courtship and what is it as far as what we have been taught, what we understand it to be? Everybody knows what dating is because that's what it is normally, but there is a proper way, and through courtship, according to Most High, the the proper way is intentional. Courtship is an intentional, is purposeful, is meaningful, where you're seeking someone out for the intention, the purpose to marry. Whereas dating, you're sampling other people that you don't like, you drop them, you don't like it, you drop them, you don't like them, you drop them. There was one elder said in his conversation, he had a good definition of dating. He called it dating is like practicing for divorce. It's a practice. You date someone, oh, I don't like them, I don't like what he did. Um, we broke up. Oh, you go good with someone else. Yeah, we good. Oh, he did this and da 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 da. We broke up. And that's like teaching people how to divorce. Dating is the divorcing thing. Whereas courtship is an intentional, purposeful, meaningful, where that individual is sought out for the attention to unite, to build a family, and to continue. That's what it is. You unite for the purpose of marriage, to establish a family and continue that. That's what it is. It's what it is intended for. So in Genesis 2:24, we know that when a man leaves his home, he finds a wife and let me read that verse in Genesis 2:24. Let me bring that up just a second here. It says, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So when a man leaves his wife, leave his parents' home and cleave unto his wife, he means he finds a wife and they become one. So our ministries is when two becomes one. That's what our ministries are. That means the leaders of our group, we are teaching that, trying to develop curriculum to teach individuals and older and younger about the courtship. And we use that scripture as our guide, as our, intro to what we try to do. So, but when a man leaves his father's and parents' house, he goes to find a wife and he establishes her. He seeks her out for the intention, the purpose to marry, not to date, not to test drive as we know it, and those other things. So the world has got us confused on that dating principle, and that's why we're trying to rewrite that. We're trying to create a new narrative, trying to create a new normal when everybody else's normal is not correct. So that's why we're trying to say, okay, even for us who've been married before, been divorced before, or widowed, we want to be with someone else that has purity in mind and that has purity in what relationships are to start off again. That means dating, courtship is dating, but it's dating with a purpose. That means it's purposeful. There's some limitations, there's some do's and don'ts in courtship. There's, of course, we know there's no sexual relations. That's number one. We know that dating allows all that when you test drive and you mess around and do all that. Dating doesn't care. Courtship cares. Dating doesn't care. So courtship is that intentional where sexual relations doesn't happen at all. And there are some other things that'll be established on do's and don'ts that some people are very strict. Like there's one family, they're raising their children in courtship. They don't allow their older children to even hug other people from the opposite sex. Hugging. What's wrong with hugging? So you may like, oh gosh, how can you cannot hug? But it's a side hug. Just, the things that would be like if is the touch, some touching of the person's body is to be respected. So there's a lot that goes into it. I'm not going to get into it as much, but I just wanted to address that we are trying to change the narrative on what we want our children to know about as far as courtship. And some of the do's and don'ts of courtships, we're going to be establishing those as a team, as a group. So I was just opening the floor up. I know our leader, our speaker, has not. Okay. Okay, so he has texted me that he's on a situation and he might be a little late coming in, but let's go on. What do you all think about your the courtship versus dating? What do you think has become so? What is wrong with dating as we see it right now? What are some problems with it? If you want to, we can just throw it out on the table. What are some problems with dating?
Well, this is Sister Eliana, and if I could kind of lamb back off you a little bit with regard to the purpose of courtship and or dating. when I was listening to you talk and sharing what we perceive sometimes as the world's view is of quote dating and what it has been turned into, it reminded me of myself. I'm sure all of us have many testimonies and such of how we were raised or things we were perceived as young adults growing up or what have you and exposed to. But I was actually raised in a household where dating, excuse me, where it was clearly understood what the purpose of a man and a woman were at a certain age. And as a senior in high school, well, even prior to that, my father had already explained to myself and my brothers what would not be going on. And especially with me being the only girl, I was privy to a lot of information that my father shared with my brothers, and he would encourage me and invite me to sit in so I could hear what the purpose of when you become a young man and a young lady, how you were to carry yourself with regard to the opposite sex. And so right out of high school, well, even before that, and during high school, I was not allowed to date. I was not allowed to have a boyfriend, and was told this quite early. And then I heard my mother and my mother specifically talk about how when they were growing up, and a young man in their town or a young man wants to call on you as a young lady, he would ask your father, could he, talk to you or spend time with you? And you were supervised. If the father said yes, you could sit on the front porch. My my mother said how her father, a young man, would come to quote call on her, and they could sit on the front porch. And at a certain time, she'd hear her father tap 3 times on the door frame or inside, and that meant come on in the house. In my particular case, since I'm talking about me, that was already ingrained in me, indoctrinated in me, that young men pursue the young lady if they see an interest in this young lady. Typically at church is where you would meet a potential mate, because you would either be at church or serving in the community together as a family, or some social, community service place, or even in your job. But it was clearly determined that any young man that wanted to speak with me would have to go through my father. I could let him know, I appreciate you taking an interest in me, but my father, if you want to talk to me, you need to come to my home, knock on the door, and ask my father to introduce yourself and tell him who you are. And it was just, there was no exceptions. And so even for me, the first quote boyfriend I was allowed to have, my father told me I couldn't date anyone at all until I was out of high school. And they only allowed me to date this young man at the age of, I graduated when I was 16, but they let me date this young man at 17, because to go on dates, rather, I'll take that back, to go on dates at 17, because we all went to church together. They knew his family, he knew our family, and our date consisted of a Sunday going to church. His family would come pick me up in the car. I would go to church with them. We would go back to his grandmother's house with all their family, aunts and such, and cousins. We'd eat Sunday dinner. And when the date was over, after we went to Hill Street Baptist Church, was back to my house. That was my date. And so I think in today's world, going on dates for myself and so many others back then was a group setting. You weren't out by yourself with this person. It was if that young man, maybe another young man from your church, or a young man in your family. My mother and father even had me go on a date one time with my one of my older brothers, and he was 19. But hey, get your sister, take her with you. They were allowed to go to the movie theater. I was present. You know what I'm saying? And what no, you all by yourself. And in fact, some of the dates was with adults present. You went with your mother and your father. So the way that dating was for not only our elders and foremothers and forefathers, and then even some of us, has changed drastically.
Yes,
Because I'm sorry, you all. That's my grandson pup barking. But I
Mm-hmm.
would say, and the reason I want to clarify that, I didn't mean to get long-winded, but those sort of beliefs and values and practices are instilled at home. These things start at home.
Yes, yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
I had yes, and I had a reverential fear of my father and most of all my earthly father, but my heavenly father, because back then our parents and aunts and uncles let us know you didn't want to do anything that would be disrespectful of God, first of all. Secondly, this family and yourself,
Mm-hmm. That's
you know.
true.
And so I already knew I was getting married to that young man. And that was the plan. That was it. When we went on dates, later on when we got older, we talked a few years went by. My parents did still continue to monitor us. Everybody knew what the plan was, and that's the way it was kicking off. It wasn't no you sample day, no sampling. You're not sampling nothing. Back in the day, a young man would come to your house. A
Mm-hmm.
young man come to my house. This one boy, he would sit in the living room. That was it. You don't go past the living room. You go to the bathroom and set yourself down. Nowadays, people they let their boyfriends come to the daughters' homes and don't have to know their family. It's just gotten out of control. And so, in
Yeah.
closing, I said that to say this. I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but the purpose of going on a date with anyone is to gather data. So, the, back in the earlier years, the purpose of a date and going on a date, even in a group context, because I do know there are religions that practice that. There are other religions that do believe in group settings and going on a date in a decent, upright fashion. So I don't want to just um, stereotype and put everybody in the same box and say that, quote, dating is bad. Going on a date is a good thing because you have to get to know this person and you have
Yeah.
to interact with them in various settings and
Mm-hmm.
socialization. But what I will say
Right.
is dating several people and including any sort of touching or sexual innuendo is inappropriate because on the quote date, it's not about that. It's about you seeing where this person's head is at, what their spiritual
Yeah.
walk is, what their hobbies and interests are, gathering data about this person to see if in
Yes.
fact, we want to continue with
Right.
discovering and learning about each other. Dating or date is a trial period, where these two people are getting to know one another without any expectation initially, but just laying the groundwork to develop a friendship. Let's even see if we like each other's personality.
And
Let's
that's
see if we
true.
have similarities and common interests, your belief system, your values. What are your goals as a young man? What are your young goals as a young lady? Just to
Exactly.
really get not to put anything, oh, he's good looking. Oh, she's beautiful. Well, okay, but who are they under that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Because a lot of people look at the outside characteristics more so than on the inside about the values, what are their interests and hobbies. But yes, you are right, Liliana, when you said, that dating is what we do to collect data. It's not bad. It's not a bad thing because we do have to find out, even when we courting, what those similarities are, even if it's not so similar, if we don't totally match. I mean, if we're not going to get that 100% on our list, but courting is looking at, okay, the Most High is center. The Most High is in the center of his life and in the female's life. That means the Most High is our connector, and we know we hold that foundation has to be set regardless. But those other things, factors may come into play. It's not going to be a complete puzzle with some of, courtship as we know it. But for people who are coming into purity, even those who are virgins that's coming in, I mean, their outlook is a little bit different than the ones who's already been exposed. When they're virgins, they coming in, their concept of making sure each other are connected to the Most High And they still gonna have their values, their interests, and all those things, yes. But then they gonna, as you say, they have data. They're collecting data, and I like the part where you mentioned back in the days where we had when someone came out to date the girl, the gentleman had to go to the house and speak to the family before and ask to take her out. That was the proper way. Today's world, you, most what is it? You don't see this happening at all. They just meet at school. All of a sudden, they hanging out at the mall. Parents don't know nothing. They hanging out at the store. They at McDonald's. They catching the Tark bus. Nobody knows what's going on in the world with the young teenagers today. Parents don't know who's dating. They have no clue, and they don't fear their parents, like she mentioned. Fear children do not have that fear as much as some other children do. So establishing that fear comes at home. Everything starts at home.
Mhm.
So we had Elder Kadash that joined in. We was talking about courtship. Elder Kadash, what do you think as a role of a father from your perspective, since you have a child? How is your role as a father important on how she courts, or if there is any role at all? What role should parents play as far as, as that?
Shalom, everyone. Actually, no, I was listening to the young lady who was speaking before, and I was admiring how she was talking about how the way things were back when she was being courted. Now, peep this
Mm-hmm.
out. See, with my daughter knows that if anyone even has an idea, has an inkling that they want to express any type of concern to want to date, and I'm not even going to say date, because the whole purpose of dating is like she said, is to see if you're going to be compatible, to see if there's going to be things that to see if that you're going to be able to get along after the dating court. It's People get the wrong idea what dating is. They think dating is a relationship. Dating is not a relationship. Dating is a period in learning. The learning about the person, learning about the personality, and my daughter has been taught these things. The young that My daughter has been taught that in order for a young man to come to her, he's got to go through me first. If he's like, I want to take you out, I
Mm-hmm.
want to get to know you, whatnot, the first thing comes out of her mouth is, you got to go talk to my father.
Yes,
And
that's
Yes,
true.
yes. Mm-hmm.
the first thing comes out of her mouth, you got to go talk to my father, um,
Mm-hmm.
because it's as a man, as someone who has been out in the streets, we pretty much know a little bit more about how a young man's mind is going to work, and how the games are going to how the games are going to try to be played. She had a young man wanted to talk to me a couple of years ago, and when I met the young man, after discussing things with the young man, I told her flat out, no, this is not going to be him. This is not the person for you. This is not who the Most High wants you to be with. And she respected that. She did not go behind my back and still try to talk to him. Now, remind you, they still remained friends. They would talk to each other every now and then. But as far as that conversation, as where I want to try to take you out, I want to try to date you, because I get her. The one thing I was able to teach her um, is that dating is just what that means. It means to get an understanding. However, courtship means that that you want to pursue me for a lifelong relationship, a relationship that's going to bring that should bring you closer to the Most High. I've told my daughter, and I've instructed my daughter, for a man to be able to find you, he needs to be able to seek the Most High in order to get you, because that's how hard,
Yes,
that's how high you need to be in the Most High. That in order for him to find you, he's got to go to the Most High. He's got to go through him,
yes,
and then through
yes.
me. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
because
Yes.
I'm not being funny. When I was coming, I grew up in the late '60s and early '70s. I was a teenager, almost, and an adult in the '80s. And the difference between then and now is that young ladies and young men had more respect for their parents and for their elders, and they listened to, and
Ooh, right.
they had a desire to sit up under the elders and gain knowledge. and gain understanding, gain cultural values. These things are cut out this day. The music that the young people are listening to, the television that they're watching, I mean, right down to the little so-called kiddie cartoons are leading for the destruction of our young people. We have to understand that as parents and as elders in our community, as teachers and as mores, that we have a responsibility to teach our children not to walk through the fires of Moloch. And what I mean by the fires of Moloch is to put yourself in a position to where you have to be tried in a fire. You don't have to be tried in a fire on your own. The Most High is going to try you enough, but you don't need to be putting yourself out there falling for every doctrine and everything that's out here walking on this green earth. You know, the scripture is very clear. You know, it says that, you know, when we're talking about men gathering women, silly women laden with burdens. You know, they're talking to these simple women and teaching and telling them good things and giving them that thing, and whispering them sweet nothings in their ear. You know, like it said in Ezekiel, give us, tell us sweet things. You know, this is what we need to guard our children from, not just our young ladies but our young men as well. These women out here today are vultures. They are looking to devour whatever. I'm not playing. They are looking to devour. They are looking for those things that are weak, and wait for the collapse and devour them. And
Yeah.
so when even with young men, but I have girls, so it's for me. I've got to. I'm it's easy for me to teach my girls how guys are going to be, but it's hard for me to teach a son how the young ladies are going to be, because these women are, because my girls
Oh
don't do this.
my.
These young ladies out
Ooh.
here are just running rampant. They are more like men than men are. You know,
Yeah, so rough.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and so so when we're dealing with our children, we got to see we got to see who is trying to court our children, what family they come from, the family dynamics in which they come from, what are the core values, how long have they been, how long are they walking in the truth? If they're not walking in the truth and the light, then that's an automatic no. It's a flat out no. Because the scripture clearly tells us for us not to mix with the nations. You mix with the nations. What does it mean by mixing with the nations nowadays? Because everything's all mixed up. If you're not willing to follow the commandments, the laws and the statutes of the Most High, you're mixing with nations. So
Yeah.
if I allow my daughter to marry someone from out here who is not who does not keep commandments, laws, and the statute, who does not try to walk in love and understand, who does not try to deal with the fruits of the spirit, guess what? I'm allowing her to go into the nations. I'm allowed to her to, and according to Jubilees, that's also causing them to walk through the fires of Moloch. So that's another separation between the children and Yah. When you look in Deuteronomy chapter, oh gosh, I want to say it's 8 or it's 26. I can't remember. It tells you not to mix your children with the outside. The Most High says don't allow your children to marry these nations, because they're going to take their hearts away from me. So understand that when we are dealing with things, even as a parent, even as a guardian, even as a mori, even as a teacher, even as an elder, even as a leader of whatever you are, and whatever capacity you serve, with the people, with the women around you, with the young men around you, we got to be investigative. We got to because let's just be honest about it. The kids are looking at each other. They're looking at each other from a physical point. They're not really
Yes,
looking at each
yes.
other from a spiritual standpoint. These young people are looking at each other from a physical standpoint. So it's up
Mm-hmm.
to us to guard the children. It's up to us to guard the
Yes.
young people. It's up to us to guard our women who are in our assemblies. It's up to us to guard the young men who are in our assemblies by checking on these things that can actually destroy their souls if it's not caught and seen. This is the purpose of the elders. This is the purpose of the parents. A young lady is not supposed to marry unless she has her father's permission. If she marries without her father's permission, then she has cursed herself. And a lot of times you see these young women who have married, and they are in situations, and they can and because they have been disobedient to the parent, they don't know what they're talking about. But yet all of a sudden here they are in a relationship, and the relationship is soured, and it's not right, and this and the other, and they want out. But the thing is, you made a commitment. You made a vow.
Mm.
Now, if you had listened to your elders, if you had listened to your mother, your father, who told you this person was not the one for you, if you had paid attention to those things that were taught, and understand that your parents are not going to tell you something for their good, they're going to tell you something that's for your good, then you're going to get whatever happens to you. So this is our job, is to step in and prevent these things from happening. So if we dealing with people from
Yes.
another, if my daughter wants to marry somebody from another assembly, first thing I got to do is check out the assembly. Are they teaching the same thing that I teach? Are they operating
Right.
completely in the scripture and not in personal doctrine? Are they teaching hatred like IUIC and ISPUK, or in some of those other
Mm.
camps? Are they loving people? Do they believe in the Holy Spirit? Do they believe in Mashiach? There's a whole lot of things that's got to be hashed through before you can even give an agreement for a courtship to begin. And the whole purpose of
Mm.
courtship is, like I said before, like we read before, and the scriptures when you had me speak one time, the whole purpose of courtship is to get to know this person, to get under, because once you have decided that you are going to court, and this person says that you are, and once you see, and once you get through the courtship part and become betrothed, you are already married. People don't understand that. They don't see that you are already married when you get betrothed. It's when it's when the father says, here you go, take her, and go to your home. She's yours now. Then it's complete. But the moment the moment you have promised to marry someone, you are already married. And see, this is another thing that the kids don't have that understanding. They think it's a live-in situation. It's not a live-in situation. This is not something you can just walk away from freely. Once you have been betrothed, and you have and once you are betrothed, and the father has given his permission for you to be married, and you consummate, you are married. This is the book.
Yeah.
This is the
Yes.
law. This is how the things were done. See, everybody wants to go
Yes.
before. Everybody wants to go in front of a more. Everybody wants to go in front of a preacher or whatever. But when you look in the scriptures, you didn't see preachers marrying off the people's daughters. You saw the fathers
Mm.
giving the daughters away.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So we
That's an
got
important point. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have to understand that as fathers, we got to be careful. As mothers, we have to be careful of who we allow our children to be courted by. So we got to do all the investigation. We got to do all the footwork. And if we don't like what we see, we got to come back, just like I did with my daughter before. This is not the one.
Mm-hmm. That's important.
You
Yes.
know. So I mean, we got to get back to the basics of the law. We got to get back to the basics of the of our traditions, not Western culture's traditions. We got to get back to the basics of how Yahuwah has set things up. Yahuwah married Adam and Eve himself. So, and after that, he laid down the guidelines. The fathers gave their children away. When you look at the ketubah was that when you look in the book of Tobit, and they talk about the ketubah. Everybody's always talking about ketubah, talking about being an agreement between a man and a wife. No, read what Tobit says. And the book of Tobit, it says the agreement was between Tobit and the wife's parents, not the wife.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay. It said it was between the what again? The agreement was
The
between the
Tobit and the young lady's parents. It
Yes,
wasn't like
sir.
parents.
she had nothing to do with it. See, people have a misconception. When they were talking about right at your ketubah, sorry, the ketubah is for the parents and the groom. This is
Yes,
an
sir.
agreement. This
Yes,
is an
sir.
agreement between the parent and the groom that you are going to take over where I left off as
Yes.
a father. You're going to take off where
Yes.
she left as a mother. You're going to continue teaching, and you're going to
That's
continue
right.
to teach, and you're going to continue to teach my daughter. You're going to continue to in the ways that I have given her. So this is an agreement you have come up with. And
Yes,
when the
sir.
Right.
ketubah is broken, people don't understand this. The father can come and snatch his daughter out of that relationship.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. That's a good point because we have to go back into that scripture of Tobit. And when he mentions Tobit, he's talking about the Apocrypha for those who don't know. And I don't have my Apocrypha right in front of me, but that's a good point. It goes back to the parents. Everything should always come
Everything
back
is
to the
on the
parents.
parents.
Yes, yes.
Everything's on the
Oh,
parents and the groom. So when it comes down to it, when technically, if you want to think about it, he says, "This is my daughter. This is how I've raised her. Do you agree to continue to teach her the same way I've teach? Do you continue? Do you agree to walk in these ways that I have taught her? Do you, this is why the scripture tells us not to marry outside the nations, because if you marry within the nation, you should have no problem with doing these things."
yes, yes. And then you remember this Old Testament, I think you taught about this or somebody did when you was talking about the daughters of Leah and Rachel. Was that
Hmm.
Leah and Rachel?
Yeah,
Um that was Jacob and his who was Leah and Rachel's dad?
he
Um
was dead. Their brother gave them. I'm sorry,
the,
not the brother. I'm sorry. Laban was the dad.
yes,
Laban was the
yes.
dad.
Okay. So was gonna Jacob wanted to marry
He
Rachel.
wanted to,
eh,
right. He wanted to marry Rachel,
But
and he
he had to
agreed to work
work.
for 7 years. This was his dowry. His dowry was to work for 7 years to gain her hand. And see, this is another thing that people have gotten away from. People have gotten away from the dowry. And it's not wrong for a father to ask for a dowry for his virgin daughters. It's not wrong for a father to ask for a dowry for his virgin daughter. Because what does a dowry prove to a father?
That you value my daughter.
Not only
Yeah.
that you value my daughter, that you're going to be able to take care of my daughter.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and so Jacob worked for 7 years for Rachel. And when it came time for their wedding night, Laban pulled a fast one. And instead of Rachel being sent into the tent with Jacob, he sent Leah into the tent. And when Jacob woke up the next morning, he was like, "What have you done to me? Because I worked 7 years for the hand of Rachel." And Laban, being crooked as he was, he's like, in our culture, from where we stand,
The
the
oldest
oldest
daughter.
always marries first. So then
That's
Jacob had to
right.
work another. So then Jacob had to work another 7 years
Oh man.
for Rachel.
Yeah.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
so you got to understand that when we are dealing with these type of situations, we got to know who we got. So when our sons want to marry, we got to make sure that our sons are going to marry who they're supposed to be marrying. We got to make sure that the people that they're going to be married in, that our daughters going to be, the families our daughters going to be married into, aren't dysfunctional families. We got to make sure our
Yeah.
sons are not marrying women who come from dysfunctional families. One thing I tell my son, I have a son that he's technically not my son, but he is my son because I raised him since he was 9 years old. I told my son one day, I said, when you dealing with a woman, look at her mama. See how her mama acts. See how her grandmama acts. Then
Right.
ask yourself, is this what you want on your arm? Because
Mm-hmm.
when you dealing with these young ladies, this is what you're going to get. Because if grandmama acting crazy, mama acting crazy, you know what you about to get on your hands. You about to get crazy.
Right.
So I'm being totally honest.
I'm agreeing
Yeah.
And
with you,
and
Elder.
we living in a day where grandmama's 36, I'm sorry, great grandmama's 36, grandmama's 24, and the mama's 12. Look
Mm-mm-mm.
at this day that we're living in.
Wow.
What
Yeah.
the family dynamics are dying because there's no such thing as a big mama no more. Big
Mm-mm.
mamas are dying
See.
off. Big mamas out here going to the club right along with right next to the kids and the grandkids.
Jeez, that's sad.
But
Woo.
it's true.
Those are yeah, that's just
But
what's
it's true.
happening.
Can I
So
Yeah.
lamb back off
these are
the
the things
elder?
that we got to. Huh? Go ahead.
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. I was saying, can I lamb back off of you when you get finished?
No, go ahead. Go ahead now.
Yes, sir. I tell you on fire because what you were saying, and I hate stereotyping, but and yet I'm not going to do that. But what I wanted to lamb back off of when you were talking earlier, um, with regard to getting the father's permission and this, that, and the other. Um, Once again, all of these things start at home. And what I mean by that,
Yes.
Hallelujah.
you can take in I won't say the Hebrew culture, because a lot of our foremothers, like my mother and father and their grandmothers and grandfathers, may not have known the quote Hebrew way culture, but I will say they knew the biblical way. And I say that because my mother was a woman of faith. She was raised with a mother and father in the 1920s and 30s of faith. And it may have been the Western culture. But back then people just had values and morals. It was a way to do things. With, you
Right.
know, from how you gonna marry, how young lady carries herself, how young man carries himself. And so I do want to give credit to those ancestors of ours who did not know our quote culture, had been stripped, but they was raised from good stock and with good values. And so I don't ever want to do anything to dishonor my mother, my grandmother, my grandfather, you know,
Hallelujah.
that raised 10 and 11 children to love, quote, the Lord. And, you know, we can get caught up in titles and such. We know it's Yahshua and Yahuwah and all that. But I don't ever want to say how they prayed and how they honored God with their life didn't mean anything and it wasn't valuable. That's only for Yah to say. And so I know that my mother raised me and my brothers, and my father raised us to be decent, upright, honest people, even with the world around us. But like you were saying, I'll give this example. With my daughter, my daughter has been married, and I'm not going to use my example. So my daughter has been married a year this past November, and I will say that my daughter did go on a few dates after high school graduation. There was one young man she asked, could she date? And I didn't think about it until I started sharing my story and listening to you all. The young man who took my daughter to prom, there was no after prom hoteling. There was none of these quote stereotypes that we hear people say. And I do want to give other parents and people credit, because there are families and people who do not feed into this nonsense. There are upright, decent families outside of the Hebrew culture, if they know it, that are decent and raising their families decent and upright. Because the young man, I didn't realize the parallelism or the semblance of my daughter's quest and my quest. My daughter's, we did allow her to a young man was wanting to talk to her. Well, his mother was a minister. He served in church. That's who my daughter went to prom with. And my daughter did come home after prom. My daughter did not go, you know, and so many of you all can have the same testimony. We did allow her to do that, but there was no other hanky-panky and all this going on, because the boundaries had been set and established, and that young man knew, not only from his mother, who was a minister and served in ministry, and he worked in the church. I served in ministry, and my daughter worked in ministry. We're not having none of that. So it never even came up from their mouth. It was the other children around them who was, you know, that's the thing, this influence. And then secondly, I did want to share with my daughter when she got married. I said that to say this. The young man asked my daughter on some dates. They knew each other in high school, but they didn't date or anything. He was older than her. They met up again through mutual friends. He said, hey, I think I went to school with you, what have you. I said that to say, this young man came to us and said he was dating my daughter. She said, oh, I think she thought they was just friends. I said, no, I think he's dating you. Y'all are meeting in a group setting with other people. Y'all having a good time, skating and talking and eating, drinking Starbucks and whatever else y'all doing. That boy's dating you. Well, he came to me and said, Miss Tina, I want to marry your daughter. Well, I don't know, and I never really asked him specifically. I don't know if his mother and father and grandmother and grandfather taught him that, or if my daughter told him that. And what I mean by that, as women, we need to teach and train up our daughters, first of all, in the home, to have a healthy self-esteem,
Right.
and healthy love of the father. Because once we plant that seed in them, not only the mother, sometimes your mama and your daddy can't give you everything because they don't have it to give. But that's why Yah puts other people It's the Miss Louise down the hill. It's Miss Amanda, the Pentecostal lady.
Yeah.
It's the church women. It's the teacher
Yeah.
at school. It's all these
Right.
different women. If for the brothers, it might not be your dad. It might be your uncle. It might be your granddaddy. It might be the man at your job. It might be a big brother. There, y'all will always put in your midst a person that can continue to groom you and grow you. So it takes a village. It takes a village. That is no joke. That is serious because it took a village with me. And I can look back like so many other people and say, thank you, Yah, for the village. But I
But
said that, ma'am.
yeah. Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna add something to that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And yes, ma'am. And even when Elder was talking about him teaching up and talking to his son about picking the type of woman, and if Elder, if I can say this, no disrespect intended. I'm a woman, but as a man, I hear what you're saying because I can recall my daddy telling my brothers, what kind of woman is she? You need to, men are like, hold up, what kind of woman is she? It makes you know what you're dealing with. So I would implore Elder, listen to Elder, implore the young men and the fathers after Elder to pose the question, is your son capable of being a husband?
Hallelujah.
And what I mean by
Yes.
that is because so many times we can put on the woman this, the woman that, and I understand that. But are you raising your son to be husband material? And what I mean by that, I'm a woman. I don't want no jackleg husband. I don't want no dusty Hebrew husband. I don't. I so don't.
Exactly.
And so,
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with
Yeah.
you.
So, but anyways, I was gonna say, based upon all this, I know some other people in the chat may want to talk as well and give some comments on some things that we have speaking of. So I'm gonna open it up to other people in the chat to also make comments. But when Elder Kadash says and Tina Ileana says the family, it all goes back to the family. However, we already know, just as what I put in the chat, the family structure in most households is a single mom. That is not the correct family of what the Most High wanted for what a family is. It's supposed to be a dad and a mom. So when you say it goes back to the family, that single mom cannot do it all, but we have to find those representations of a man to represent in that household, either out in the church with a deacon or elder or someone that is spiritual. So we want to rebuild that family. That's why one of my goals was to rebuild that, where the single moms can and find other people to rebuild that home where it is one person, where they can be joined in with two, so that there can be another person in that home to establish what a family is supposed to be. So right now we already have statistics that shows that back in the 1920s there were two parent households, about 80%. Then in the 19 so many years afterwards, there was a decline. We had two parent households. We were booming. We were thriving. We were making it happen. 60s and 70s, drugs came, welfare came, all that, and racism and profiling and discrimination. All those other things broke down the man. The man is not in the house. Single moms are now raising boys. We cannot do it. So yes, we wanted to go back to the families. Yes, we wanted to start at home, but there's a problem. The home is not what a home should be. It's a single mom that's trying to make a home. That's the problem. That's where the difficulty lies. That's where we have to rebuild that family and try to find our ways where we can help single parents to become two become one, or one become two. But anyways, I'm gonna open it up to the floor for other people to make a comment. We got Darren, Tracy, Byra, Samantha. What do you all have to say?
If y'all don't speak up, y'all know I'm gonna take up and start talking again. Come on now.
Okay, anybody else have any comments on anything? Bara, Darren, Samantha, Tracy? I mean, is it making sense about what we was talking about? I know, fathers and parents, where we want our daughters and sons, to go to the parents' house and to seek out the parent, but they're going to be seeking out a single mother. There's a single mom, like, hey, single mom, I'm coming to take your daughter. I want to choose her. It's a single mom, but that man that's coming to seek their daughter needs to still find another man that represents their home. That's what we have to figure that out too. That's that breaking system, that broken dynamics. Who is that father? Who's that father figure of that girl in that home? She doesn't have it. Where do we go to next if that man is knocking on that door? Is the mom okay? Can you give me permission to take your daughter out, mom? Single mom. Or is there another person that needs to be represented before that man can talk to that daughter? You see what I'm saying, Elder Kodash? So that's where I'm looking at the dynamics of how we're going to have to overstep where we have and go through a different route.
Well, I want you to first understand and first know that a lot of what we're going through are the curses that the Most High has already put us under. See, this is one thing that we have to remember. Deuteronomy chapter 28 talks about the curses he's going to put us under if we are not obedient to his word, if we're not obedient to the law, if we don't follow him. When you look at Deuteronomy chapter 28, however, when you look
Right.
in Isaiah chapter 3, it literally describes the things that's going on to this very day. It literally describes how the single mother parent, the single mother, the parenthood of the single mother, the unruly child, and all this and all that. But because these are curses that we have to face because because of our disobedience to the Most High, because let's say our ancestors' disobedience to the Most High.
Right.
But see, the thing is, what our ancestors did not have that we do have. We have the Ruach Hakodesh. We have the Holy Spirit, and we are able to come out from under these curses. In order to come out from under the curses, we have to first do what? We got to become obedient children. We have to become obedient to the Most High. We have to become obedient to His laws, His statutes, His commandments. We have to become obedient to Yahushua HaMashiach and walk that He walked. We have to become obedient to the Word because this is what sets us apart. All through the scriptures, especially all through the scriptures, it tells you that His children do what? They follow the commandments, from Genesis down to the book of Revelations. It speaks of His children are the ones who follow the commandments. Not just 10 commandments, but the laws and the statutes as well. There is a lot that people don't understand, that when our ancestors walked outside the line, these curses were laid on us. But He has given us the opportunity to come out from under these curses through the Ruach, because this is what He's given us. Yahushua came to show us that we can come out from under the curse. All we have to do is become obedient children, and the curses will be lifted. So this is where we get that term generational curses from. Because things happen over and over and over, but it takes that one person who becomes educated, that one person who becomes enlightened, that one person in that family who the Spirit sits down on and changes that dynamic for that family forever. Because what they learn, they pass it down to their children, their children's children. So that dynamic that once cursed that family starts to disappear.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
so when we're looking at these things, we got to understand that these are happening for a reason. Now, if we become obedient children, as the scripture says. So I really hope that you go back and you read Deuteronomy chapter 2. Those who are on here, read Deuteronomy chapter 28 and Isaiah chapter 3. When you look at these things, you'll have a better understanding of what it is we're actually going through, and it tells you how to come out from underneath those curses. So this is,
Yeah, yeah.
like I said, this is, so a lot of what we're dealing with is stuff from our ancestors. When our ancestors opened their mouths, they said that we would do, and so will our children. And our children after us. And it's just like when Yahushua Hamashiach was given to be crucified. Give us Barabbas and crucify Yahushua. And they like and Paulo and Pontius Pilate was like, he's done nothing wrong. They said, he says you condemning an innocent man. And what did they say? They say we take that responsibility as well as our children take that responsibility. So we have to understand that our parents, our forefathers cursed us.
Right.
So we're still walking in these curses. But however, the Most High has given us the ability. One thing they did not have that we have the ability to do nowadays, they had to rely on the priest to give them the word. We now have the word that sits in our hands.
Hallelujah.
So we have no excuse. We have no excuse why we cannot find out how to come out from underneath these curses and watch your lives change. Once you understand what the curse is, what it takes to come out from under the curse, if you apply that to your life, watch how things begin to turn around, not just for you, but for your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren, if you get to see them. Watch how each generation becomes better and better, and it becomes a stronger individual. And that other young lady, I forgot what her name was. I want to land back off something she said. When she was talking about the ancestors not knowing, not knowing the Hebraic way. But here's the thing. From the beginning of the time of slavery, from the beginning of the slavery, even up until they knew what marriage was.
Hallelujah. That's right.
They knew because
Yes.
they knew because guess what? The ancestors which came up on the boat first taught them so the Hebraic. So as much as we don't want to admit, we have learned a lot of Hebraic ways. We kept a lot of Hebraic customs because this was passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah.
We weren't teaching our children Westernized culture. That came in after the Emancipation Proclamation. That's when that came in when they actually were starting to able to read, and they were given books and Bibles and only given so much to be able to read to where they had no understanding. They were given slave Bibles. They were given Bibles that had everything was cut out that meant anything about their history, and they were just only able to read just certain points, certain parts. They didn't get to read the parts about how Israel rebelled. They didn't get to read rebelled against their captors. They didn't get to read the points about how Israel fought for their freedom. They didn't get to read about any of those things because those things were stripped out of the Bible those things that were stripped from them. So they would not know, they would not be able to get, so they would not get that spirit of rebellion.
Oh, yes, yes.
So we got to understand a lot of things that our parents did coming up is still part of that Hebraic culture because it was taught and it's embedded into us. Even though the ancestors came over here on slave ships, they still taught their children righteousness for as long as they could.
Hallelujah.
And what they were not able to read, they passed down through song, they passed down through stories, they passed down through folklore, they passed down through. Do you understand what I'm getting with? You see where I'm going with this? So
Yes, sir.
a lot. So when we really looking at this, we had the idea, we just didn't know where it came from.
Right, right. That's what it is. We didn't know where it came from. And we had it. It's just that history from our ancestors and so many things that we didn't know. Like you say, in Isaiah that, they stripped that out of the Bible. Somebody said that was from the Apocrypha, the book of Maccabees or something. I don't know where that thought of the rebellion came from, and that led up to some sort of revolt back in something I can't remember, Haiti or something, where they had a revolt back then where the slaves were traded over to the country of Haiti.
Haiti, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, wow. They read something in the Bible and all of a sudden they was like, whoa. And they overthrew I don't know if it was Napoleon, but they overthrew some general back then. After reading that, they got so inspired by their readings and from the Bible, and they just like, oh, they did this to us. It's time for us to take it back because they was treated so harshly in slavery over there in the sugarcane fields. I mean, the life expectancy of slaves were like you wouldn't make it I think they was like when you brought over to slavery and you worked for 3 to 5 years, that's it. I mean, you had a very short lifespan over there, and people were dying, and there was harsh treatment. Not, they were not fed right. They were basically starved. So they decided not anymore, and they revolted. And I don't know if they killed the general, but something about General Napoleon is in there. And I don't know if the movie Napoleon has a representation of it, but they took back the land. And that's why Haiti is now the only country that is a slave, the only country that slaves overtook and became its own country. Is that true or something? I can't
Yeah,
remember the history. Is
yeah,
that right?
Haiti's the only one that fought for its freedom and remain free. See,
Yes.
see, when you get to understanding your culture, when you get to understanding what your forefathers did and the things that they had to go through, how they messed up, and then but how the Most High was always allowing them to come back. You know, when you look in the book of Hosea, chapter 1 and chapter 2, you see that the Most High keeps calling back the Most High keeps calling back his adulterous wife. This is what Yasharel was. Yasharel was the
Yes.
adulterous wife. And he's calling us back into repentance. He's calling us he's calling us to repent and turn away from those ways that we have learned and picked up. He's calling us, he's you know, people say you're brainwashed. Yeah, you need to be brainwashed. You need to wash out all that nonsense that you were taught all over these years and read for yourself what the Most High has given you.
That's
People
right.
say
Yeah.
people say that you're in
Yeah.
a cult. Yeah, guess what? The key word of cult, because the key word in culture is cult. Yes, I'm in a cult. Yes, I'm in the culture that my forefathers used to be in before they were enslaved. You best believe that. Yes, I am in a culture. So
Yes. Yes.
understand this. We came from somewhere. Now, here's the thing, you know, we want to fight against what we know is true because it goes
Mhm.
against traditions that we've picked up. When you look in
Mhm.
the when you look in the book of when you look in the book of Matthew, Yahushua says out of his own mouth that we have put away the laws and the statutes, the laws and the commandments of Yahuwah for our own vain traditions. We have picked up things along the way from these paganistic nations and these pagan places that the Most High did not give us. The Most High did not give us these holidays that we celebrate, but yet the holidays that He said for us to celebrate, we ignore. He did not give us Sunday as a day of worship. When you go through, you can read in history that this was changed in 320 AD. This was changed in 320 by Caesar Constantine. He's one changed the Sabbath from the seventh day of the week to Sunday.
Yes, he
He's
did.
one,
That's
you
right.
know,
Sure did. There was
this is
something.
history. You can find this in your history books. We got to understand that our people came from a place of that the ones who was trying to serve him righteously, and they tried to
Mm.
keep the ways, but yet the world tried to destroy them. They tried to destroy anything and everything
Mm.
about Yah. When you look in the book of Maccabees, they try to destroy Judah. They try to destroy Israel. Period. They will try to wipe them off the face of the earth. Why? Because they would bring it because of their commitment to the one and only Yah, the one and only Alua, the one and only Yah. They wanted that they had that commitment. They would not deviate from this commitment. When you look at
Mm.
the second, when you look in the book of Second Maccabees, the woman who had the 7 sons who died because they refused to eat unclean. They were tortured and they were tortured and they were brutally done because they refused to break the laws of Yahuwah. They stood up and died for this thing. Look at the prophets from the Bible. Look at Jeremiah. Look, not Jeremiah, I'm sorry. Look at Ezekiel. Look at Isaiah. Look at Nathan. Look at how they put their lives on the line to serve Yahuwah. Look at Yahusha. Look at Saul or Paul. Look at Peter. Look at John, not John, James. Look at Stephen. How they were massacred because of their faith.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I
This
remember
is
Stephen.
this
I
is
just
why we don't
remember.
have courtship. This is
Mm.
why we have failing families. This is why we have single unwed mothers. This is why we have fathers who don't give a dang and walk away from their children. This is why we are in this mess.
Yes,
We have to become
yes.
obedient children to the word. The word comes first. We cannot expect our children to go out here and do the right thing if we are not being obedient ourselves.
Yes.
It first starts at home. Yahoo, the scripture clearly tells you that the charity, love, first begins at home. We have to teach our children by the ways that we are carrying ourselves.
Amen.
We cannot live a
Hallelujah.
life. We cannot live a life that says do as I say, not as I do. We got to live the life
Yes.
that says do as I say because I do it. Look at
Mm-hmm.
Yahusha. Look at Yahusha. He lived a life. He said, do this, follow me. Follow me because I'm giving you the example to follow. Do this for me because I'm doing it. I've shown you the way. I've shown you a righteous walk. Now you pick up your cross and you follow me. You pick up where I left off and you continue this teaching. This is what this is the whole thing about the courtship. When a man gives his daughter over, when a man gives his daughter over, there is a ketubah this, and when a man gives his daughter over to the man the man he gives his daughter to has agreed that he will continue to walk in this way. This all
Yes.
ties in. This is all Yahushua HaMashiach from the beginning to the end. This everything ties back into him.
That's right. That's
And
right.
at that, I'm going to digress.
You go ahead, Elder Kadash. You go ahead and tell it. He said, I'm gonna rest my case. He has been going on. I love his energy. I love his fire. I just love it. I love it. Woo! I can't touch that. You missed it, Ileana. But anyways, Tracy or Darren, y'all have any comments on that? This is the word. This is the word what we need. I mean, it's serious business out here. We know we messed up. Our ancestors messed it up, but we right now we're coming into obedience to the laws, the statutes, commandments. We have to be. What you say, Ileana?
Oh,
Or
I'm sorry. That
somebody?
wasn't me. That was the backdrop. My daughter in the other room. I'm sorry
Oh,
about that. Yeah, the phone dropped. That was nothing but the enemy trying to intercept because I missed it. But the last part that I did catch what Elder was saying, um that is I agree with him on that because he had spoke about it a little earlier in the conversation about people do not realize when your father hands you over to this man in the ceremony, it says, who gives this woman to this man? So I was in full agreement with what Elder had said because your father has carried you as far as he needs to carry you before transferring you over to the care and custody, because it is custody. You are your husband's possession. Transfer, and people sometimes don't like that word. It's some people look at it as a possession, as, oh, it's wonderful, I'm his possession, and then other people are like, well, I'm not your possession, you can't, I'm not yours. Oh, but you are, because you went from your father's care and custody and upbringing to your husband. And so the same way that your father trained you up, hopefully decently and in order with his wife, your mother, it is now your, as far as he could carry you to the age of accountability, and then your husband takes you on and he will grow you into the wife and woman he needs you to be. And a lot of times people, I don't know if they really listen to the vows that they take, and that's why I always ask. Sometimes they may have taken it out now, but they used to ask you at weddings if there's anyone that sees why, a decent, upright reason why these two people should not be married. Speak now, forever hold your peace. So that's giving you that's your last opportunity to say, I don't think he's a good provider, or I don't think she's good wife material, or what have you, because this is a vow, this is a covenant that these two are entering into.
exactly. It is a covenant, just as the Most High Yahusha is coming back for us. It's like we have a covenant in a way that when we
We do.
follow the laws, commandments, and statutes, we're coming into the covenant of the Most High. That's our promise. We're already in that, but we
Well,
still gotta follow it.
let me
Hmm.
throw this out too. What you're saying and what Elder had just said, what
Okay.
Israel was an adulterous nation. Even the
Mhm.
scriptures make provision for that within secular marriage. There's scriptures that tell you if your husband or if your mate uh commits adultery, it is up to that other mate in the marriage to say, I will forgive them, I want to stay married or not. And even with that, Elder, if I'm out of order, please tell me. I just don't have my scriptures with me right now. But that's why, when you marry a person, forgiveness is key. And how many times did Yah forgive us for the things that we've done against him?
Mhm.
And so, um, even too with the marriage, um, and when Sister Leora, when you were talking about the single households and the mothers, I'm gonna
Mhm.
throw this out here real quick. There are a lot of single fathers as well who are
That's
raising
true.
their children. And the thing with that, I believe, whether these single mothers are single by choice with their reprobate minds, well, whether these people are, it's not meant for you. And you're a reprobated mind woman if you say, I don't need no man, I
Yeah.
don't need
Ooh. Oh
my
my
baby daddy.
goodness.
That
Oh
is the most, we
goodness.
need to have a teaching on that, and you can sign me up for that. But what I mean, I'll teach that personally. But what I want to
Yes.
say, what I want to say was, you have, whether you're a single parent by design, by divorce, by being a widow, all of that, or just, you have a lot of husbands or men who have left their children because they weren't complete men. They didn't know how possibly to parent. They may not have known how to be a husband. They may have proclivities, addictions, and such, mental health issues. We don't know. But I do believe as far as getting a quote replacement person in, the secular world has come up with 100 black men, big brothers, big sisters, mentorship programs, all these things to try
Yes.
to curtail. And while they mean well, and they are needed, they are needed. So I applaud people who volunteered for organizations like that, me included in the past, as a big sister. But that, once again, I do believe if a man knows he is the father of children, whether it be from divorce he got separated, whether it was a
Mhm.
hood rat mama that said, I don't need you, now I got my baby, it's
Yes.
my
Yes.
son and my
Uh-huh.
child. I do believe that we have to get the men to get their
Yeah.
minds back healthy, to, even though
Hmm.
you and that woman are divorced, even though you and that woman are separated or not married, why did you abandon your child? That is your blood. That is your
And then
responsibility.
yes, yes. That's
And then
something.
Well. Hold
Yes,
on, hold
yes.
on. Now, I'm not gonna stand up for any other man. Okay,
yes, sir.
because
Oh,
every man
yes,
has
sir.
his own walk that he's
Yes,
got.
sir.
That he's got.
No, that man still have responsibility to those children,
Exactly.
regardless.
Now he
He
now he
has
does
to
not
do
have.
that.
No, I'm in agreement with you because the word is very clear. Any man who does not take care of his own, that this
It's worse
does
than
not
an
take care of it,
infidel
and especially of his own household, is
of his
worse than an
own.
infidel.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so his
Yes.
household is his bloodline. Understand this.
Yes.
They don't have to be in the same house. That's
Yes,
they're
sir.
his
Yes,
bloodline.
Ye-
sir. Yes, sir. And I,
Yes.
I
So.
do understand that, and I agree, because I growing up in quote church when I was, a child and young adult, and then when I found the way of my culture in Hebrew around 7 years back,
Hmm.
um that right there, it's like I only got to see this once or twice, or heard of it once or twice, but it
Hmm.
amazed me how, well, in the secular world, why some men, even though you're estranged for that woman, y'all broke up, whatever the case may be, that is your blood. You created that child. Secondly, and I say this for Hebrew men, I heard of this happening twice, and this folks talking about in the congregation. And Elder, please shine the light on this, because I am a
Hmm.
woman, but I couldn't understand why it was one or two brethren who had children, previously from a marriage or divorce or what have you, and made comments using scriptural reference to discount them having to be accountable for their other children. It's almost like
Well, it ain't almost like it got said. Well, my wife wouldn't come over to this way, so I'm not. I've divorced her. That was one case. The other case was I'm Hebrew now. My children and my ex-wife are, in a different religion or what have you, and I'm stepping away from them because I can have more children. And I was appalled. This is 7, 8 years
What?
ago. But you would be surprised. Well, maybe
Was
not,
you
Elder,
dealing
because
with
you're a
people in
man.
the was you dealing with people in the camp?
No, sir. No, sir.
Because that sounds like some stupid camp doctrine.
Yes, sir. Well, I tell you what, I'm not for sure. Like I said, I only heard of this twice, and some of the brothers that was having a dialogue. It's like 7 years ago, but and I'm not familiar with those quote camps because my way of coming into learning about our culture and our history was not through a camp at all. It was just a regular scripture study here in Louisville, and a home study. And we did go to a place called Mashiach Temple. And there were elders there who taught the right way. But yeah, and it's so sad because you have Hebrew men who know their origin, will stand on the scriptures and shalom, shalom, and fringes and
You know what? They
zeets
getting that from Nehemiah
castings.
chapter. They getting that from Nehemiah chapter 4.
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll look that up.
I believe that's Nehemiah chapter 4. Let me double check that. But they're getting that. But see, they taking it out of context.
Yes, sir. And see, I'm a woman, so I couldn't say anything. I heard, there was some brethren, and then like
what makes you think it? What makes it? What? Who says women can't have a word? Who says women don't have a voice?
Well, Elder, I agree with you.
Show
but
me in the
they're
scriptures
supposed
where
to
it says
say
a woman does not have a voice. Now she's not supposed to teach in the assembly.
Yes,
I would
sir.
agree with that.
Or
But
teach a man.
however,
Yes, sir.
huh?
Or teach a man.
She's not to usurp the man.
Usurp, yes, sir.
But she can bring up her voice. A wise man listens to a queen because if a queen has a kingdom, if the queen has a kingdom mindset,
yes,
she can do what is good. That she's going to do that which is going to edify the kingdom.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes.
And that's
Okay.
the truth.
That's what it
yes,
is.
sir.
Okay, we're not talking about women with a Jezebel mindset to where
Woo.
they're trying to rule, where they're trying to rule over their husbands. We're talking about a mindset. We're talking about a mindset of trying to for the edification of the king,
build the
build
kingdom,
up,
build up
kingdom.
our
build it up.
husband, build up
Yes.
our culture. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what
I
we want.
agree.
I don't know who did that or started that mess, because that is not what Paul said, and that's not what Paul said in his writings.
Yes, sir. And I
When
tell you,
Paul was writing
Elder,
to the church, when Paul was writing to the church of Corinth, the women were trying to usurp the men. They were trying to rule over the men. They were trying to take positions that they had no business trying to put. They're just like these daggone churches out here with these women elders, these women bishops, these women pastors.
yes, sir.
I'm being honest with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So no, a woman is not supposed to teach in the synagogue. She's not supposed to teach in the assembly. But it does not mean that she cannot give her husband wise counsel.
Yes, sir. And she is supposed to teach the women. She is supposed to teach the women.
And she is supposed to teach the women.
Yes.
But she's got to use what?
Wisdom.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
That's
wisdom.
Good.
She's got to use,
and
with the wisdom that she's giving, she's got to make sure that they get a full understanding.
Yes, sir.
It's not a doctrine thing that you're trying to teach. You're teaching the ways of the Most High. It's not your personal views that you're trying to teach, because believe me, some of my views differ from the Most High. And you know why? Because it fights against my flesh.
Yes, sir.
My flesh is like, I don't want to. My flesh wants to fight with that, but guess what? My spirit is saying, calm that mess down, because you know you're in the wrong.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I said that to say this, Elder, and that right there, a few of those little things like that. In my spiritual mind, I'm thinking to myself, why do you think Yah is going to bless any work of your hands and prosper you in any way when you are negligent with your own creation? Yah allowed you the ability to co-create a whole life with a person, a child, and because of this banner of Hebrewville that you packing around, because you have zeets and captains on, and you can say shalom in several different ways, and Yeshua and all this, you have abandoned your child. And so
Oh,
that was
wow.
a big deterrent. I mean, it basically, it reminded me of how even in our culture, Hebrew, sometimes we are no different than the world's men. We are no different than the world's women.
Right. And we're supposed to be set apart and
Right. And that's
distinctively
why we
different.
need, yes, yes, ma'am. And that's why we need women and men like us. We're human too. We have a testimony. All of us have gone through things in our life as well. But that's the beauty of it, how we can show people that, well, yes, I came from a single home, or yes, I came from a divorced home, or yes, my mother wasn't married, or yes, my father was what have you. But
Yeah.
still saw fit to use me and let me show you the
Yes.
scriptures and how we can turn these lives around. And another reason I said that too, and I yield, Sister Leora, is because the men, where these households, where these children are, that is why the children are having behavioral health issues, mental health issues, negligence, tardiness in school, truancy, high drug usage. You have women out here trying to play the role of mother and father, and that is out of order, and you have men who have been stripped of their manhood by this wicked welfare system and the
Yes.
drug system and let's take the vocational schools teaching you a trade out of the communities, and therefore label Black boys as ADHD, and he can't sit
Oh,
still, and
yeah.
let's get
Yeah.
him medicated, and that all it's just a, like Elder was saying, it's part of the curses. We're
Yeah.
gonna have to ride the wave with it, but we also doing
Mm,
riding of that wave. We're going to have to find ways to get back in touch with the
mm.
good old fashioned values.
Yes, the old fashioned values, and that's why we have to go back to those teachings of what the Most High says. Take it back to the 50s, take it back, and those values, we have to go back to teaching those things as a community, as assemblies, and that's why we learn in here, so that we as parents know how to teach our children what these principles are. So I'm going to get ready to close out. I know we've been over our 9 o'clock hour, so it's almost 9:30. So this has
That's my
been
fault. I'm sorry.
great. This has been awesome. I know we can carry on and continue. And I appreciate Elder Kadash for coming in. And our speaker texted me. Um, I guess he had some issues at his previous job. He wasn't able to let go, so he wasn't able to commit. And I apologize for that, but I
Before you
appreciate
before you
Elder.
before before you hang up, I'm looking for the scripture for her real quick. Give me just a second. I'm almost there.
Okay, sure, no problem. You can go ahead and look that up. Um, but I just wanted to say that the other gentleman was not able to come in, so I'm gonna try to see if he could be scheduled for the next one. I know that's scheduled for July what is that date? I know it's every third Tuesday, so that'll be the next date. But we still are working on the curriculum. Thank you, Tracy, for being on the call, and Ileana yesterday. So we was able to just look at the application, but the first week of the curriculum, I need to share that with the team as well. So I'll be sharing you all a screen share or whatever, so you can look at that. Kadash, Elder, do you have that scripture?
Give me a second. I'm looking for it. Give me 1 second here.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
still.
no
You know
problem.
what? I'll send it to you, and you send it to her. How's that?
Okay, yeah, you can send it to me. That's fine. And I know I put something in the chat, some of those curses or problems that we were having among the black family and where we are. I don't have the current statistics, but I know that Elder Obadiah from our assembly, he put that in one of his lessons, and we was able to see that. I think it's on YouTube, where he had the current statistics of black families, the breakdown, and what were some problems that happened. And of course, it's part of the curse. We know it's a problem, and what can we do? We have to get families back to being obedient. Single parents got to, we got to get everybody back to the law, statutes, and commandments. That's the only thing we can do, and that's a need. So that's it. So I guess we're gonna close out. Any last words or anything? And then maybe Eliana or Kadash, would you be able to pray us out or something? Or The elder, you can pray us out if you wish.
I'll leave it over to her. Actually, I found one of the scriptures, which is in the book of Ezra, chapter 10, and there's one in Nehemiah. I'm still looking for the other one. But I want her to understand that these guys have taken scripture all out of context. Because
What you said?
huh?
What scripture? What scripture was it?
Okay, see, we got Ezra chapter 10, verses 2 and 3. It says and this when she was talking about how the guys were talking about they walked away from their wives and whatnot, they taking that scripture completely out of context. Because you got to understand, these women were doing the same thing that they were doing. It's their job to teach these women that it was their job to teach them and to show them the right way. And when you look in when you look in I believe I want to say it's in Second Corinthians, where Paul talks about the dynamic of the family. He says if a man who is a believer has a wife who is not a believer and she's happy to stay with him, don't put her away. These guys have taken the scriptures and twisted it into things that it does not mean. And they just looking for an excuse to be able to get out there and just be whores.
Yes,
And
sir.
let's just
Yes,
be
sir.
honest about it. They're looking for
Yes.
excuses just to be able to go out there and do what they want and feel that there's not going to be a repercussion. That's no better than a man sitting down eating the pork. That's no better than a Hebrew sitting down eating a pork chop sandwich talking about I'm only going to be guilty until the sun goes down. You're taking the word out of context.
Yes, sir. And that
Yeah.
financial obligation to elder, not only am
Definitely.
I saying, yes, sir. And how do you, and I wondered that one because it really I didn't say anything, but I prayed and I talked to y'all, but I'm like, yeah, these folk is crazy because,
But see, the thing that shows you their actual true heart. They don't really have a heart for y'all. They have a heart for themselves.
yes, sir. And then, and what you
Mm-hmm.
just said too about
Mm-hmm.
that, for not only wanting feeding to the flesh, but not holding up to your financial and fatherly obligation to train up these children and be
Mhm.
responsible for their mental, spiritual, and physical development and well-being. That is
Hallelujah.
abandonment. You have
It
abandoned your
is.
child.
You've
But
regret.
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, sir. And then
Abandoning.
come over to Hebrew and think you're entitled to start a whole new family. Who do you think you are? You don't think
Ooh.
Yah ain't gonna deal with you?
No.
No,
No.
no. Actually, they
That's
really think that y'all's not going to deal with that, and that's a problem.
yeah.
That's a big
That
problem. When I had an issue with my oldest, when I had an issue with my oldest child, I didn't get to see my oldest child. I paid my child, but I didn't get to see my oldest child because her mother refused to allow her to come to Georgia to be with me. But that was a choice that her mother had made. That wasn't my choice, but I still held on my responsibilities, my financial responsibilities. I've reached out and stayed in contact as much as I could, and I always, but I did not ever stop saying, hey, listen, I can't always just be coming to Kentucky. Sometimes she needs to come down here and be with me. Sometimes she needs to come down here and see how the other half live. And a lot of times women, when women don't, and I'm just listen, this is from my personal experience of watching my mother. Okay. A lot of times my mother used to bad talk my dad all the time. She used to sit up and talk to him talk about him like a dog, like the worst dog that ever was. But when it came time but when the Most High revealed the truth, it's not the father. It's that you'd be surprised how many times it's not the father who's at fault. It's a broken mother who's at fault, a heartbroken mother
yes.
who can't have her baby daddy, so she don't want her kids to be around her either. Who can't who thinks of her baby daddy as a possession versus when it should have been a husband to start with. See, we've gotten away from our own cultures and we've gotten away from our own cultures and our own heritage and adopted the heritage of our oppressor. And then we wonder why we're not working out. We're not working out because we're operating under doctrines that don't belong to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And these foolish men who think, oh well, I ain't got to take care of my kid, and I ain't got to take care of her. Because I kid you not, I was just last year I was at an assembly down in Cincinnati, and somebody brought up the subject of having multiple wives. And I'm like, fine, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. The word don't say this wrong. However, the way that you're trying to do it is wrong. And when I brought that out, they did not like that because they want everybody to live under one house, live under one roof, and the women take care of this, the women the women help financially take care of the house. And I put off, and when I got done with him, he was mad because I let him know, no, when you go and look into the scriptures, you didn't see the woman sitting there paying for nothing in the house. You see everything. You didn't see any of those women living in the same tent or in the same household. You saw one man who called whatever wife to his tent that he wanted at that time. But everybody had their own home that he provided for them. Everybody ate the food that he provided for them. Everybody did he provided that they wore the clothes that he provided for them. Y'all sitting up there trying to look, y'all trying to be these these men, trying to be these scriptural men, but you're not living in scriptural ways.
Yep.
See,
they
they don't like to hear that. They don't want to hear that. I got 5 wives. We all get along just fine in the same house. You probably trying to put all of them in the same bed with you two at the same time, ain't you? How many kids do you have from these 5 wives? Are you making children with these 5 wives? How many kids do you have? And see, this is another thing you find quite often with these people with multiple wives. How many children do they actually have? Or are they sitting up and wasting? Or is he sitting up wasting his seed, not producing fruit?
That's what it is. Producing fruit.
It's see, we got to get out of this mindset. Well, especially men got to get out of this selfish mindset, thinking that our ways is the right way. We creating doctrine when doctrine was not ever there. We're creating problems when problems are not ever there. If we were to live by the law, we could have as many wives as we could afford. But however, guess how many wives most men can only afford? And really and truly won't. I ain't trying to be funny, and you can take this how you want to. I want one wife.
Yeah.
If I want another woman, I'm going to go get her a wig. I'm going to go get her a dress. I'm going to call her by another name. We're going to play some games.
Yeah.
Every woman comes with different personalities. Just pick which one you want for that day.
Yeah. So
understand this. Nah, I'm good. I'm told. One woman for me. That's it.
Because that's another topic that we was talking about in our sisterhood chat is polygyny and polygamy. You know, there's differences, and there are some brothers, Hebrew brothers, that believe in that multiple wives and all that. So, that's another discussion. But I appreciate you touching on it. It's just something that one person had approached me and said, "Hey, I'm looking to build my family," and he mentioned the word concubines. I'm like, concubines.
Listen, a
Yeah,
concubine,
concubine.
you know, and
Yeah.
what people don't understand about this either, a concubine is still a wife.
Okay.
Yes,
She's just not the
sir.
next. She's just not still.
Elder. Oh my gosh, Elder. I don't mean to
She's
put
just not the. She's just not the number one wife.
Yes, sir. Oh,
I
Elder,
A
I
just
tell
concubine is still a
you,
wife.
it is funny that you say that because I had posed that question 5 years ago because I
Yeah.
asked the question, Elder, at an assembly, because I said, well, if somebody pointed out King David had all these wives and concubines, and I don't know
Yeah.
all the scripture about it, so I didn't want to be out of order. So I did ask the question, though. I said, well, the way I read it, I said, see, y'all will reveal everything. I said, the way I read it, okay, he's got wives and he's got concubines. Well, everybody knows, and Elder, you please correct me. Everybody knows that that woman is that man's concubine. So no other man is ever going to marry her.
Exactly.
That's
He's
his
still a
Exactly.
wife. He
Everybody
is
knows you a
still a
concubine.
wife. People don't understand this. A concubine is not just somebody you going. It's not just a woman on the side. She's still
Yeah,
a wife.
it's your side supply.
Right. She's not your side chick. She's still your wife.
Elder, when I said that, the looks I got.
Well, the only thing you had to do is point to the book of Judges. It specifically says it.
In the book of what?
Judges.
Judges, it says that. Well,
Yeah.
I just thought it was different. Like it's not a wife because it said that Solomon had
No,
700
she's still a
wives.
wife. No, it talks about the Levite whose concubine left him, and he went to he went to his and it says he went to his wife's house to retrieve her. Went to our wife's father's house to retrieve her. It literally called her the wife. So understand, our concubine is still a wife.
Ah, okay. Okay. Whew.
Elder,
Listen.
we need you to come and teach to some of these brothers at these home assemblies and at these camps. I was a woman, but I used my logic, Elder, the good common sense that y'all gave me. And I said at a meeting, at a fellowship, if that man has concubines, everybody knows that woman. So you mean to tell me she's never going to enjoy the privilege of having her own husband? Wouldn't that man, he
That is still
assumed
her
that role when
husband.
he assumed that role when he made her his concubine.
That's
And they
right.
looked at me like I had 4 heads and 2 tails. And that was 6 years ago, Elder. And I said, well, I'm not going to disrupt the group. Maybe I was out of line. I read it. This is my understanding of it. And, God, yeah, if it is what it is, that's what it is. But that
But
don't
you
apply
know
to me.
what?
So,
But that's what these new Hebrews are going out, and they're creating a new following. They got YouTube channels talking about it and explaining it. And
but
there's a
Sister
new
Leora,
rise in that.
it's not the new Hebrews. It's some of these old birds too, like us. It ain't these new ones all the time. It's some of these old birds that hopped on
That's
it's the
true.
old
It's the older.
it's some of these old birds that's teaching the young birds.
Okay. Okay. Well, we can go back into this. We're gonna save that for another lesson. So right now, we're pausing. Okay, Ileana, you wanna lead us in prayer, and then we'll um talk next meeting. I think it's July, and then we're gonna still continue to work on our when is it? Every third Tuesday. So that's 1, 2, 3. So that's July the 16th, I think. That's the next one. That's when we meet. Okay,
Okay.
so
Well,
you can go
I
ahead.
will allow Elder to pray us out if he wouldn't mind, since he's the only man still on the call.
Oh wow, I hadn't even paid no attention. All right. Hood, we thank you for a great call today. We thank you for you said that we need to, as iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron, iron sharpens iron, even if it's a man and a woman. Let us not forget that that you have given women just as much wisdom as you've given a man. Matthew, I'm sorry, in the book of Matthew, it talks about how Joseph and Mary took Yahusha to the prophetesses. You have given women the ability to help a man understand, because we don't have all the answers, but between everyone, you give us the answers for us to be able to go back and just learn from. Abba, help us to understand that everything that comes from you, if it's coming from you, it's going to be led by the Spirit, and it's going to be, and you're going to find no fault in it. Direct us in every step that we should go, so that we don't fall, so we don't depart from you. And everything that in our thoughts and our actions and our speaking and our mannerisms and our gestures, direct us in the way that we should go every step of our lives. Remind us that it is you who has everything in your hand. It is you who we are to serve. It is you who has all salvation, mercy, and grace. We don't own these things. Only you do. Abba, help us to be able to continue to show our children good works, that they may continue to glorify you. The works that you have taught us to do through your word, how to raise our children to fear you, to love you, and to honor and cherish you, not just by word, but by our actions. Help us to be stronger in everything that we do when it comes to you. Strengthen us to suffer. Strengthen us to prepare for the fight that's ahead. We know that this world is out here trying to destroy you and everything about you. We know this world is trying to make your word nothing, making nothing, trying to make your name vain, trying to make your name not effect. But Abba, we know that you are here. We know that you have brought us out of darkness into your marvelous light. We know that you have brought us from that place where it was damnation, but you have brought us into salvation. And we, Abba, we thank you. We glorify and we magnify you, for only you are deserving. As we continue to walk through this week, Help us to continue to be good. Help us to continue to season our words, so that when we deliver our words to the stranger, that is received because it is a sweetness to their tongue. It is that it pleases their ear to hear your words. Let us not tell them sweet things, but to give them that salt that you have told us to give them, to season your words with. Let us not give them those things that they desire, but give them the things that they need. Show them what they're missing in you, Abba. Show them how you have brought them through, even when they was thinking it was all on their own. Help us to teach our children the way they should go. And we pray before they even old that they will not depart. These things we pray in the mighty name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Hallelujah. Let it be so. So be it.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you, Elder Kadash. Thank you.
Hallelujah.
Thank you. Thank you. Ooh, that was powerful. That was powerful. We have learned so much today from this study, from this discussion, just our interacting, communicating. We still have to go forth and continue to shine our light. So thank you all for being here. And we will continue in the WhatsApp chat to talk about the curriculum. And I appreciate the other people for joining in as well. What was that, Ileana? Did you say something? Okay.
Ma'am.
Okay.
Oh,
All
I was
right.
on
I
mute.
thought you said, okay. All right. But anyways, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Thank you all. You all have a good evening.
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
All right.
Thank you, Elder.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome, Babakasha. My daughter and I will actually be in Louisville next weekend. Y'all's Healing Ministry is having is doing another one. He's doing another one of his meetings, so we'll be down there attending with them. So I mean, if possible, I'll try to shoot over to where you guys are, just to and speak with Obadiah and them for a little bit. But it's been a pleasure talking to y'all.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is it? Is it for this weekend, this coming weekend?
No, next weekend.
Oh, the next weekend, because this weekend we're doing the networker. Brother Joseph Joshua inviting different people to come down to do networker. Would you be here for that? I think it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
No,
he's doing
my daughter's going to
a
Washington, D.C.
Wisdom and Wealth conference.
Yes,
it's a 3-day conference.
Okay,
this weekend.
my daughter's going to Washington D.C. this weekend. She leaves out Sunday morning, so this weekend would not be good for me. And not to mention, I've actually got to teach this weekend too. So,
Elder, what city are you in again?
I'm in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, and so now, if you know, and then you said next weekend you'll be at what fellowship? That's a fellowship here in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, Y'all's Healing Ministry. Yeah.
Oh yes, sir. That's
Benaiah.
Brother Benaiah and Sataria. Yes, I'm familiar with them.
Okay, yeah.
Wonderful.
So my daughter and I will be down for that. So hopefully we'll be able to get hopefully everybody can meet up just if nothing else, just to say hello.
That would be nice. Sister
So,
Leora, since this is your contact and you know Elder, maybe you can arrange that for him to and Brother Obadiah and everything possibly.
Yeah,
I got Obadiah's number directly. I can call him directly.
Yes, y'all exchanged numbers that day. Exactly. So, okay.
Not to mention we're friends on Facebook too. We've conversed on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You on Facebook with him as well? You said you on Facebook, your first Facebook friends?
Yeah, I'm on. Yeah, I have him as a Facebook friend. That's actually how we started talking. And then I actually met him when I came down.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The outreach.
That's right.
Yeah, I actually met him in person when I came down for the outreach.
That's right. Okay, cool then. Well, we'll be excited to have you to come in and join us next weekend. That'll be the weekend of July the 5th or 6th or something like that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, thank you. We'll be looking forward to it. And Ileana, you'll be at the networking event this weekend, correct?
I excuse me. I went last year. It was at the first one. It was really, really nice. So very informative. I won't get to come Friday because I wasn't able to get off work that Friday, but I do plan on being there Sabbath day for the Sabbath celebration part, and then Sunday or first day for the marketplace. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm trying to take off that Thursday afternoon and that all day Friday since I didn't go last year on Thursday or Friday. So this time I'm gonna go half a day Thursday, all day Friday, and of course Saturday and Sunday. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'll see you there. And
All
don't
right.
forget, we was trying to go on Friday night to do our nightlight shine on for the modesty movement. Eliana, we got to talk
oh
about the modesty movement.
oh yes, yes, Elder. So, Sister
I,
Leora won't, since she knows that I do minister to teen girls and women, and
oh,
I
gracious.
do. I haven't done it in a while. I was processing some grief and loss with different family members and loved ones, but I
Mm-hmm.
did that in the community for years, and I do creative writing and journaling with women and teen girls as well. But she identified my passion for that. It came out, and she wants me to go and do some street ministry with her. And I informed her that we have to practice some wisdom and some discernment. I don't mind going out sometimes in the evening, but we have
Mm-hmm.
to find the right mission field and the right time to go and minister to these ladies that are out
Hallelujah.
doing clubbing and such.
I was
Clubbing
driving
and
for.
such.
It's a lot of women on the street. They're very. They dress funny. It's funny looking, and it's too messy out there. So when I was driving for Lyft after, I think it was Thursday, Friday, and then dropping people off, and I was like, ooh, seeing all sorts of stuff out there. It was just too much indecent exposure. I was like, ooh, I can't take it. Then I started thinking these women need help. Who can help them? And I thought of Sister Ileana. I said,
No.
Sister Ileana, just come and help these girls. I said, we're going to have to get out on the street one day between the hours and just, I think there's a thing that we supposed to be light in the darkness. So I
Yes,
figured that
ma'am.
was the darkness and we needed to be the light in the darkness.
Yes, sir. Well, I told her, Elder, I'm all about being the light. Yet, for me personally, I'm a behind the scenes type of person, even though on occasion, whether it be at work or in a ministry capacity, I have to be up front. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those cautious people. I do know care needs to be extended to these sisters and these brothers. I was
Mm-hmm.
just sharing with her at 10 o'clock at night, they dress like they going clubbing. So they may not be receptive to what we're saying. So we want to
Of
be
course
Right.
not.
we want to be productive, and we don't want our marketing tools for y'all to be on the ground. So we may have to.
Right.
I found for myself it's easier for me to approach current ministries in the community, even though they are quote faith based and under denomination. I have found for me it's easier for them to receive me as a quote sister in Christ coming in, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
able to come through that door as a woman and a woman of faith. Then I share with them the love of Yeshua, which they call Jesus, but I also
Mm-hmm.
use that platform to introduce some of our culture.
But I
Well,
know
you know
you
what?
going to the
That's
safe space though. You going to the sheep that's the 99. But you
Oh well,
got that lost sheep that's over
oh
there running around in that
oh
dark space.
Oh no! Oh well, let me clarify that. I'm
I
sorry,
know.
and so let me clarify now. Thank you, Elder, for your patience with me tonight.
oh no, no,
Um,
no, that's fine.
but what I do see, I have to work smarter, not harder. So I go to ministries that currently have street
uh-huh.
ministries, and I go
Yeah.
to ministries that do feed and clothe people. So
Mm-hmm.
that way, it's more of
Yeah.
them and not just one or two. When there
Right.
are
That's
already
good.
there are ministries and what is it called, community groups that do go out to these people. We may not
Mm-hmm.
know them, so it may look like nobody's doing it, but there are lots of people doing it. So I've just learned how
Yeah.
not to recreate the wheel. I don't have to recreate the wheel. The wheel's already made.
So I just need to
Right.
hop
Yeah,
on the wheel when it's spinning.
yeah. I would like to be one of those that
That's a
be
nice
out there.
analogy.
That's true. Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
because you see all the Jehovah Witnesses, they be on every corner. Every time you turn around, they probably right there at 10 o'clock over there at 4th Street Live, or right there near the liquor store, right there near the club. I mean, it's like every time you blink your eye, there is a Jehovah Witness. You blink, there is a Jehovah Witness. I'm like, okay, this is too much. Where are we at?
Well, now see, that's just it. Yeah, I may not be there, but there's somebody doing it. It's just recognizing allowing them to work in the vineyard that they feel compelled to go to. And like you said, I don't
Mm.
have a problem. We just have to identify where we're going to go and have some brothers to go with us that time of the night.
Yes, definitely. I would
Cause
love that.
I am a girl. I'm not a boy, and I'm not gonna be around here with these
That's what
folks on Fourth
you know.
Street. I ain't gonna
You
be
know,
out here.
we'll dress
Elder,
like
I'm not
our
gonna be out
queen.
here in these streets with Sister Leora because she got a
Well, you know
vision.
what? Well, in Matthew chapter 10, it talks about going to the lost sheep. Well, it doesn't call them lost sheep, but it's going to the people who are desperate, who are looking for the word, who are looking for the answers, who are looking for salvation. You know, but but you have to use discretion, and you have to use
Yes.
you got to be some. I don't want to use the word selective, but if you go into a club, you can't that people are not going to receive you at a club. But people are
Definitely.
pretty receptive at a grocery store. They're pretty receptive at a laundromat. They're pretty receptive sitting on the bus stop.
Yes, sir.
When they are when they are out there and they have inebriations running through their bodies and everything. That's not a time to talk to them because they're going to be resistant to you, and the ones
Yeah.
who aren't resistant to you because of the spirits that's running through them at that moment.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not really going to be a. Uh, I'm not going to say that they won't be receptive, but it won't be like it would be if they had a sober mind.
Yeah, and a seed
Right.
won't get really
Yeah.
planted because their mind is elsewhere. Their mind is focused on something
Exactly.
else.
Right.
Right.
So, when we do, when and it tells us in Matthew, it tells you in Matthew chapter 10 that you go to the cities, and you go to the people, and those who receive you, you sit down and you talk to them. But those who don't, you keep it, you just you take your piece and walk away because
Yeah.
he doesn't want somebody to feel forced to come to him. He
Right.
wants
Right.
somebody who he wants somebody he wants people sorry. He
Yes.
wants people who are willing, who want to find him, who want to know him. That's what he's after. When he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, but right before his crucifixion, and he was praying. Remember what he said in his prayer? He says, "I'm not praying for the world. He says, I'm praying for
Yes.
those
Yeah.
I'm praying for those who follow me. I'm praying for those who desire to do the works of my Father. That's who I'm praying for." So
Yes.
understand that we're not to go out and talk to everybody. We're to go out and talk to
Right.
those ones who want to know. So if they don't receive you, keep it moving.
Yeah. Keep it
Don't be
moving. Like I
mad.
say.
Don't get
Yeah.
mad. Don't get angry. Don't get upset. What the Most High tell Moses when Moses said that they're not receiving me? He says it's not you that the Most High told Moses, don't get angry because they're not receiving you, because it's not you. It's not you. They're
It's
rejecting.
me.
They're
They're
rejecting me.
they're refusing the Most High. It's not Moses. Yeah, that's true.
Right.
And
So
that's what. That's how I
so
see it. I mean, my thing is not to go in the club, but as 4th Street Live is just like a Beale Street, where it's people walking up and down. But I don't know. There's just bars and restaurants, but it's not a club scene. I don't want to go in the club scene. Definitely not. If I go in the club scene, I'm gonna be dressed like a royal queen. I want to dress up in my. I'm gonna be
Right.
dressed up
You
so
know me. I put my
distinctively.
head wrap
It's
on.
gonna be, yeah, girl. I'll be wrapped up like royalty. I'm gonna get you beside me and get one of the princes. The men standing up. We're gonna be royal, while everybody else will be, looking trashy. They're gonna be like, "Ooh, they strange. They different. They weird. What are they doing here in
they
this
gonna
place?"
right, they're gonna clown you, and they're gonna clown you. But guess what? You make
Mhm.
that appearance. You don't worry about what they say. You don't worry about you don't worry about if they're gonna receive you or not. You just do what you got to do and you go. You plant the seed and keep
Exactly.
it moving.
exactly. So we have to carry ourselves in a different way. If we show up to the club, it's just to smile and just to say hi and just have this warm light glowing around us if we go to a club. But that's
There's
not
no
my
way in the world
first
you're gonna get
thing.
me in a club. You're not gonna get me into. You're not gonna get me to walk into. Listen, I tell people all the time, you've got no business in the club. I don't care how much preaching you saying you doing. When you walk into
Yeah.
the when you walk into the Satan's den, Satan
You open your spirit up
there you
That's
go.
right.
to
You know,
come under
it's
attack.
like that you better believe it. You know, I tell there was a movie some years ago that I used to watch it that I watched a few times, and it was about this detective who was investigating some murders or something that was in Chinatown. And this old Chinese man told the detective, he says, "You come into Chinatown trying to save Chinatown, you trying to change Chinatown." He says, "You don't walk into the house of Satan and think you're gonna change Satan. Satan changes you."
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Yes.
I'm like, I was just thinking that if we were, it'd have to be a different mindset, a different persona. But my goal is just Fourth Street Live. Fourth Street Live is where those Jehovah Witnesses they stand on the corners. I see them there beside the restaurants, besides Qdoba, besides all the restaurants there. So that's bumping at night from 7 o'clock, from six
But what I'm
o'clock
trying to
all the way. Yeah,
but
they
what I'm
just
trying to get you
standing
to
on the street.
what I'm trying
Hmm.
to get you to understand, you're dealing with people whose mindsets are not open. See, here's the
Uh-uh.
thing. So you got to pick your target. A friend of mine did a study last year, and he entitled his study "Know Your Room." You got to know when and where to pick your target. You got to be like a crouching lion or a tiger hidden in the hidden in the hidden in the brush. You got to know when to pounce and when to stay still. The word is very clear when it comes to this. It tells you to be as soft. It tells you to be as wise as a serpent, but as soft but as gentle as a dove. Explain that to me. What does it mean by being as wise as a serpent, but as gentle as a dove? You said that you're wise as a serpent because a serpent sits there and it sits and wait in ambush. It is an ambush predator. It sits back and it just allows that it allows its its target to get close enough to where it can reach out and strike it. But then you got to be as soft as a dove because when you go to strike this target, you got to strike this target with love, understanding, long suffering, no judgment. There's a lot of things that you got to go through when you go. So you got to pick like I said, you got to pick your battle. And your battle is you don't pick your battle behind enemy lines. You bring the enemy across your lines where you have the strength.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
sir.
gotta have
And
the strength. Yeah, that's
when
true. That's true.
I was sharing with her too, Elder, like I'm all for planting the seed, but I was asking her, once we go and we plant the seed and show them the love of Yah, we have to have somewhere for them to go after that. Because once you mention this to someone, what is the next step after that in the event they want to reach it back out to us? Are we going to refer them to Elder Brother Obadiah's fellowship? Are we going to refer them to Yah's Healing Ministry? Or who are we going to refer them to? Because they see your face and my face, but let's say during the next day or during the daylight hours, when they're vulnerable and they're with themselves and their unique, sensitive spirit, not that secular other spirit. Now that we've told them who we are and what we do, how are they going to continue to learn? So that was
So
my
that's where,
question.
so
Here's
that's
my
where I
advice.
guess you have that, bro. If we have something in our hand, we give them. There would be a phone call or phone number, or
Exactly.
basically something like that. A phone number. If you would like to,
You know what
if you
people don't
receive
do?
this, email or call this number so we can help you to develop more deeply into the word. Or if
No,
you
I
have
agree. I agree.
Here's
I'm
yeah.
saying that. No, I agree
here
with you, but I'm saying we have to have it in place and have clear understanding of when the people do call, when you say call us and we can put you on the next step. I'm very visual, Elder. I'm all about Habakkuk, write the vision, make it plain.
well,
And
you
Yeah.
that
gotta
way
you gotta
everybody is
understand
on
what
the
that
same
means.
page. So that's just
You gotta
not my concern, but I want to
well,
make sure,
you
okay,
gotta understand. You have to understand what the Habakkuk actually means, because that's what everybody says. That's what they think it means. Go back and read that again and read it in context.
yes, sir.
Yeah, and
It has
that's
a fold. It does not mean what you just said.
right. There's
It
a
really does not.
Okay.
Um,
Yes, sir. I read that because that's the
well,
way
see,
I was taught too. Yes, sir.
exactly. Well, see, that's another. See, we bring a lot of things over from Christianity, and we don't understand that a lot of things that we were taught in Christianity isn't the way that things are actually. Is not the way that Most High actually ran things, or He has it lined up.
mhm.
For the mind that doesn't want to be obedient, that's what that is going to mean to him. To write that vision, make it plain, write everything down, how you're going to do it, so that you can. But when you actually read that Habakkuk, you find out that he was talking about write the vision of the prophecies, make it plain for the people to see, so that they can have an understanding of what it is about to happen. When you so go back and read Habakkuk once again, okay,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and open your and just take the whole thing in complete context. Let's not let Christianity rule our minds in let's not let Christianity rule our minds and the things that we're going to do, but let Yah rule. Let Him bring it to your remembrance. Let Him bring you the understanding. Let the Holy Spirit come up with it. Let the Holy Spirit, let the Ruach HaKodesh give you that understanding. It gives you wisdom, but let it give you that understanding. It's a whole big difference. Now, what I was going to suggest for y'all, with that may work for y'all, don't give people pamphlets, okay?
Okay.
Because most of the time when you're dealing with people, you give them pamphlets. Pamphlets wind up where?
On the
In the
ground.
garbage or on the ground. Give them business cards with your name and your contact information. Leave it at that. So when they go to pull this out, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this lady. I was talking to her last night. Because
Now, Sister
a business card is more
Leora, I'm
likely
sorry, Elder. I'm sorry.
a business card is more likely to go into a wallet or into a pocket versus
Mhm.
a garbage can on the ground, because it's small, it's personal. So, but when you give somebody a pamphlet, they can walk away from you. Not most of them gonna walk away from you. They're gonna put it in the first garbage can, or they're gonna toss it on the ground when they think they're out of your sight.
Yeah, yeah. So
A
if they get a
business card
business
might be
card,
there you go.
it it goes in their pocket because it's very small. They'll just put it in their pocket and keep going. But if they get a
Without
big
even thinking.
pamphlet, yeah, and then they'll be thinking, "Oh, let me empty my pockets out. What is this card? Ileana, who is she? Oh, that's that lady I met down at Short Street Live. She was talking about all this stuff and da, 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 da.
Right. Now, I'll
Okay.
give kudos to Sister Leora because she had mentioned some business cards for uh ministry opportunity. My question was just to her, okay, who when you say we're going to put our numbers, are we putting our personal cell number, and are we going to mention the ministries, because these are strangers to us? We don't want to be paranoid and walk in fear, but we do want to be cautious and
Give
be
them Google numbers.
thank
Get your
you,
Right.
operate in
get them.
discernment. That was my question,
Yeah,
was what do we
give
put
them
in?
Google numbers. It's like my business. My business is tied into a Google number. So even though it comes to my personal phone, they have a Google number that they don't have my actual reach out. And then once I get to a point where I'm more social with the customers that I have, then I'll give them my actual number and tell them stop using the Google number.
Yeah, I
So
Yes,
got to
sir.
the
create that Google number. I had one before, but I need to create another one. It's easy to create, so it's free as well.
yes, and
So
it's free. Right. So if you
yeah,
create a Google number and put that on your card, you know, just put on there that it is a Google number. When they put down your name, then it says Google number, then you put your phone, then put the phone number that Google assigns you for that, because then they know that this is more this is more a this is not quite a friendship type thing, but it is, but it's basic, but it's something that um to me it's more professional that way, unless you want to get yourself a separate phone number, a separate phone.
so with the
I'm
Google
not,
phone number, it rings like if someone calls, it says, "Please
and it'll tell
hold."
you who it is. Uh-huh. It says please hold while your party's being reached.
Okay, and then it connects to our personal phone
It
number.
connects to
Okay.
your personal phones. And they leave the and it asks and they ask who's calling. I think you can actually turn that part off where it just down straight into your phone. but I think you can turn it off. But it'll ask them who's calling. They'll leave a name, and then they say you got a call from. So Google will call your phone and say you got a call from, and it's going to say whoever was saying that, or they say whatever name they leave. To accept, press 1. So then you just press 1. Then you start speaking to them. Hello, how you doing? Blah blah blah. Yeah, it was great speaking with you last night. Um, I'm glad you called. What you doing? You want to sit down and go grab a cup of coffee? Then start your conversation off on a tip of friendliness, on a tip of
Yeah.
what's the word I'm looking for? Don't be so transparent right
So,
away. Just sit down and talk with it and see where they're coming from. You gotta see where they're coming from in order to be able to react
feed
interact
them
with that.
or invite them,
Yeah,
or
you got to be inviting to them. So don't be so quick to invite them to the assembly. Invite them to a cup of coffee somewhere and sit down and
yeah,
speak to them 101. You understand what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And a
Yes, sir.
nice public place with lots of people,
Yes, sir.
Right.
and just sit down and have a nice conversation, and when they start asking questions, be ready with an answer. It's so important that you're ready with an answer.
Yeah, because usually people, you always have to role play what kind of things will be said when they call back. Yeah, I got this number, and sometimes they was like, "What is this? What is this about?" Of course, you have that described on your card, Ileana. Whatever we call ourselves, servant of the Most High. Boom. And that's, our contact. And they'll know servant of the Most High. They automatically have a connection that, hey, this is ministry. This is a person that's, hey, I got your card. What is this about? So, yeah, well, thank you for calling. We talked last night and I gave you the card. And I just wanted to follow up with you. Would you have time for coffee or lunch today?
Yes. Now I agree
Uh,
with that, and I like that approach. And but in the back of my mind, I think also too, not only being raised my whole life with a father and uncles, and then even in quote church, being under the leadership of an accountability of a pastor, even serving
mm-hmm,
in ministry. And so my question to elder is, okay, now I'm doing this as a woman. I would only talk to
Hmm.
women or refer the brothers to a brother possibly, but just to make
Hmm.
sure that I am telling the young ladies that I talk to, when you say have an answer for them, coming out of the scriptures. And that's why I personally just tend to focus more when I'm talking to people, well, young ladies and women, more on
Hmm.
the feminine and the woman role, and why y'all created us the way he did, and that kind of thing, homemaking, and even in the career path of career and such, spiritual gifts and all that. um
Hmm.
I want to be sure that I'm telling them, if they need more than that, what elder I can refer them to, because I've seen some fellowships not have elders in them. And
Hmm.
I was just raised under a patriarchal system, not programmed
Hmm.
or indoctrinated, but having the safety of that and the protection, I guess, of a man and the elder to give me more spiritual, uh, the biblical, like you're doing us tonight. Who would I refer to him do that way? That's why I was asking Sister Leora, am I referring them not necessarily quote to, Obadiah's ministry or why us ministry, but him as the teacher there, more to get more of a man or an elder's perspective with regard to scriptures, and that I'm advising them correctly with the scriptural part that's
right, right.
outside of the feminine or the woman's role, things like that.
E- Exactly.
Kind.
Of
I
course.
do
We
understand.
definitely, we definitely have to have them included on that because that's who we will refer back to for the men, and so that they can have that connection because we connect with the women because my goal was thinking, more so we want to reach out to the women that are not dressed appropriately, that are showing too much. That's where our outreach is to the women. But if we do approach men and give them a card, great, they have it. But our main cards with business cards go to the women But just in case there are men like, oh, what you got? What you got? Can I get one? You know, sure, you could get one, and we'll get someone to, be in touch with you about it. Just speak nice and politely. But our goal is to fill up our women spaces, our women meetings, to get them to come, to get them to learn, to spread our seeds on them, to help nourish them so that they can come into understanding of who they are as a woman. So that's where we really want to go. But in case we do have men, we do refer them over to YS with Obadiah or somewhere. So that makes
Yeah,
sense.
well, I mean, because I know that currently that ministry doesn't have a lot of men there who are seasoned brothers. Unless some things have changed. I've been on a spiritual sabbatical, and I'm coming off of that the first week of July. Y'all's willing and direction. And so I still keep in touch with everyone in the chat and things like that. But Yah has been dealing with me with regard to getting reconnected and being obedient to the ministries with women that he's told me to start and or to reignite. After going through grief and loss of my mom passing, and just being in my secret place and getting more direction from him and clarity. And so I'll be coming off of that. But I'm just, when I'm just wanting to be sure that we don't start or when we start things like that, especially in the community, and we want to let our yay be yay and be consistent once these
Yes.
folks start reaching out, because they are. I had shared this at previous ministry. When these people come to us, and they are coming, we have to be ready for them. And how are we
Yes.
going to get them connected on a continuous basis where it's not stagnant, or we're looking like we're not versed and know how to minister and how to operate upright and decently and in order. So that was just my question. When the men contact the other brethren, does Brother Obadiah have help? And even with the sisters, I can share with a woman how to be modest. Uh, uh, I've already developed some things with regard to that. I've been doing that off and on for around 15 years, but homemaking, the things that I know and that bring me joy, and Yah has prepared me to teach and share over the few years or what have you. But we still need elder women and more women in the fellowship to keep these young ladies connected and to be accepted and
Yes.
loved on. So
Yes.
I'm just
That's
making sure that even with our local assemblies here, that is one thing that I've been in prayer about. Some of the assemblies here that are being operated by decent, upright people who have, weathered some storms, have had to get some pruning, have had to get some correction, have had to sit down, get started back up. If you're here local, whether it's Yah's house or, Obadiah's ministry and some other ones I'm not too sure of, they we need to be on good accord with those ones that we know locally, so that we present ourselves as whole, nothing missing and nothing
yes.
broken. And that
Yes.
has really bothered me and been on my heart for 3 or 4 years now. And so I'm hopeful that Yah will restore some of these brothers and sisters who have fellowship before and get them back on one track, because you cannot have a ministry and be a one-man show.
Yes, that's true, because there's so much, so many reasons of why they're not involved. But we want to, create a front, create a standard, create a place, a safe space for these women to go to once we give them the card and they say, yes, I don't mind. So once we get their yeses and commitments, we need a place. And we do need to shower them with older women above them to help guide them, me and you and the other um, ladies who are with us and who have left, but we need to reach them back if they're able to join in on what this mission is. So I agree. It's just a matter of we still got a lot to work out, but this is just a thought that came about. And I just felt like, oh my goodness, this is horrible. It was just too much. My spirit could not take it. I
Yes,
just
ma'am. I understand.
I could not take it.
Well,
It
you
bothered me
saw it at
so
10 o'clock
strongly.
when you were Ubering, and I saw it at 10 a.m. when I was going to work. So
That's even worse at 10 a.m.
just make you want to park your car and wrap a sheet around them.
Oh my goodness, it's just too much. It's too much. And just to know that there are parents that are doing it. Their daughters are going to be doing it. And just imagine, oh goodness, I can't. At school, I just need to find out what's going on with the school because I need to change some dress codes. I'm going to change some dress codes in these schools. I'm going to write a dress code that's going to be universal. Hey, if Louisiana is over there banning trans athletes out of the sports program in Louisiana, they're over there putting the 10 Commandments in the classrooms. Can we at least get a universal dress code in JCPS?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the dress code and such in the school system because I do know of several schools that have a dress code, but I'm sharing with you, I've been to Air Corps, I've been to Farnsley Meadow, I've been to PRP, I've been to Butler. Some of that dress code stuff, once again, goes back to these parents, these children. Some of
Absolutely.
them, some of them do put a shorter skirt in their bag. So, but some of these folk come right up at their house looking that way. And I told my
Yes.
daughter when she was a teenager, I buy the clothes here. My mom, papa, your dad buy the clothes here. So you don't get to dictate anything to me. When you get
That's right.
17 and 18 and you buying what you gonna buy, I don't have no control over that. But
Wrong
age
answer.
17 and under,
As long as you in my house, I got control
yes,
over what you're wearing.
yes, sir.
Ooh.
So, we got a bunch of this stuff. We keep saying the school. No, some of it is the parents letting these children wear what they want to wear and not making the effort
Well,
and not parenting.
it's time to pinch the parents' pockets.
Well,
Okay,
and
you
then,
come and do it's
well,
gonna be
and
a
then,
pinching. We're gonna pinch the pockets. If you come up here with a short skirt, you're gonna be fined. Oh man,
well,
why
and
you
well,
telling
now
me
let
I
me
gotta
throw this.
pay you money? Mama, they
Lord, you ain't
calling
getting
you
no
up
money.
here to pay this money. Oh child, I ain't
Well,
paying nothing. Well,
and
they told me I can't wear this dress then. This skirt is too short. Well, go home and take it off. I can't get home. You gotta pick me up. Oh well, you just gotta
yeah.
stay there. Oh,
Well, I do hear you, and I agree. It sounds logical to me, so commonsensical to me and you, an elder. But we know common sense ain't common. You can go to these. You can. you, you
ooh,
yeah.
it's a
What? Yeah.
prayer.
So
It's a prayer.
you
My goal
you can
is
go.
it's
You can go to these schools
JCPS.
right now, and I know
All of them.
Iroquois is one of the schools. They implemented clear backpacks. I know this because I used to be on the SBDM council and the PTAs, and I used to be a case manager. So I would go to Iroquois. That's why when you always mention Iroquois, I know exactly had used to be at Iroquois. They implemented clear backpacks, so all the children that could come with clear backpacks, they could see what they had. To this day, you still got these children who come up in there with their own backpack, and it's overwhelming to the school staff because you have hundreds of children coming through the little metal detectors. You got a clear backpack, you ain't got none. You come in, they trying to scan everybody, they trying to look at your backpack. The school staff is tired. They frustrated because they sat here and told all the parents to get your children a clear backpack. They gave it to you free, but you still because you're not reading your reading your emails because you're not reading
No,
the newsletter.
it's because the parents don't have a newsletter or PTA. That's what I'm trying to establish at this school, which will help with parent engagement and communications. If we have a PTA, I need 4 other people to join me on the PTA board for this coming year. 4. I couldn't
And see,
even
that
get
goes back to what you were saying earlier, Sister Leora, as well as Elder. We have the single parents status taking over the world, whether it's husband, a father, or a mother. Folk work 9 to 5. I can't leave my job to come to no.
exactly,
Yeah, and that's the
exactly.
thing.
It
My
goes
father
back.
told us when we was growing up, probably like some of y'all. your job, and I told this to my daughter, and it just like programming. My father used to say, "What's my job?" Well, I changed. That's what I told my daughter. He said something about him and my mama's job was to keep a roof over our head and clothes in here and food at the table. And I wrote
Right.
like a little robot, told my daughter, "What's your job?" She in kindergarten. My job to go to school, mind the teachers, and do my work. What's mommy, daddy's job? Our job to go to your job is go to work, make a living, blah, blah, blah. So that's what you do. But see, nowadays you have parents that can't get off from their jobs to come and serve. A lot of them do want to be more active, but they're inundated with the woes of life, you know?
Yep.
And it's just when
That's
we
just
have
the way it is. It goes back to the chicken and egg. It's a circle. What did you do first to help repair the broken system? The system is broken. Yes, we need a PTA. Yes, we need more parents. Yes, the parents are working 2 jobs. They can't take our work. They can't join the PTA. They can't join their son's football team. They can't help out with no fundraiser. They just don't have time. They barely can raise their kids. Kids are acting a fool in school, cussing out the teacher, going to Saturday school because they don't have good grades, and getting suspended. Okay, so yes, that's the dynamic. So it's all back to how do we serve that system. So yes, it's a dress code issue. It's a PTA issue. It's a whole lot of other issues with 50 different languages at that school. That's my son's school. Here I am trying to change the dynamics of Iroquois, and I'm only one person, but I'm going to keep fighting.
Oh
I'm going to
yes,
find
ma'am.
some.
Keep doing
I'm,
that. Yes, ma'am. You and so many other people. Because
Mm.
that's the thing. Just you've been doing an amazing job getting the staff on board, trying to get the parents that you can on board. Um, and then just possibly reaching out to other organizations to help schools do that who are already
So
established.
this is what I imagine. If we come in there with a strong Hebrew front, if I can get 4 other Hebrew representations on their board, you don't even have to be a parent at a school. You don't even have to know where the school is. I believe you do have to live in Kentucky, Elder Kadash, but you have to live in Kentucky. You have to live in Kentucky. But all I need is 4 people. You don't have to be a parent or nothing. All you have to do is be community people. I'm the parent, and all I need is 4 people just to stay for 1 year. All you need to do is meet once a month, talk about what we can do. I do all the stuff. We just have to show documentation that we meeting. I go to all the meetings for the PTA, the state meetings. I can do that. They just need one person to represent. The other 4 people just sign on the dotted line. Yes, we attended the meeting on this date, and you do that for 1 year. Once the school starts seeing people happening, they'll be like, "Whoa, they got a parent night out. We got Friday night. Parents can drop the kids off. They can babysit for us, and I don't have to." Whoa, okay, who's in charge of this PTA? Oh, thank you, PTA folks, for loving on us. Okay, I think I want to join y'all next year. That's what we want. We want
Yeah,
to
now I
create.
do hear you and I agree with that. But that business side of me, that executive assistant side of me, nonprofit side of me, you do want an active board because there are differences between having an active board of directors or SBDM PTA board. It's good to have the
Mhm,
4 or 5 people, but you
mhm.
also want them to be committed and have a vested interest in this, not just a name on the roll.
That's
So
what I'm saying. I will know I need active people, not just name only, but the people that's gonna be like, okay, what do you think should happen here? Okay, how do we get these other languages on the Zoom call for a PTA? Because we need to represent Somalia, we need to represent Nigeria, we need to represent uh, Taiwan, we need to represent Brazil. We got all these languages. How do we represent them all? So that's a language barrier problem. Somebody got to handle the fundraiser. Somebody got to handle membership. Somebody, all these people, the board people will consist of those handling those responsibilities, but they need to be active. I mean, if somebody just want to be name only, they'll be name only. But could you call the subway to make sure those sandwiches are coming? Just,
right.
you can be low key, but here's your assignment. You can be low key, but can you do this?
Well, I'm going to say Layla told Ashodis, I got to get at 5. So it's been sweet talking to you. Shalom, shalom.
Okay, all right. Shalom, Elder
Shalom,
Kadosh. Thank
shalom.
you. Yeah, but she left me.